And welcome to the Sound Alive Sports Network, coming to you live from Edmond Stadium, where tonight the Shorewood Thunderbirds take on the home team, the Meadowdale Mavericks. Kickoff is now underway, and here we go. Onside kick. A little surprise there from the Shorewood Thunderbirds wearing the road whites. Caught Meadowdale off guard a little bit for that matter, too, as they unpile everybody, and it appears as though number 34, and that's Zach Plummer, the sophomore. Very heady play by Plummer. He comes up with that football, and Meadowdale is going to take over on their own 42-yard line. Once again, you are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network presented by Shoreline Community College. To welcome everybody for tuning in, and thank you for being here tonight. The Meadowdale Mavericks coming into this game with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss. Shorewood with an overall record of 2-2. This is a conference game. It is a league game. Meadowdale on top of the standings right now all by themselves. They are 3-0 in conference play. Shorewood is 1-2, and really for all intents and purposes, and I'll explain this to you later on if you need it, but for the most part, if Meadowdale wins this game today, they will have a 1-game lead over everybody in the conference, and really for tiebreaker's sake, a 2-game lead with 2 to go. As far as conference games are concerned, if you win this game tonight and you're the Mavericks, you're pretty much the 3A South champions in 2014. Steve Willits along with Dave Koschik. Dave, welcome to the booth.
Thank you.
You ready for a good game?
It's a perfect night for high school football, so yes, I'm ready for a good game.
We'll get you the starting lineups, and your eyes are not deceiving you. That is Malik Braxton on the first play, and he's taking off. Penalty marker is down by the line of scrimmage, and Braxton is into the end zone for the touchdown. But let's wait to see what that flag is. Generally speaking, it's in the vicinity where it is on the offense. This one might be coming back. And sure enough, it is holding.
Yeah, that was very rude of Meadowdale and Malik Braxton to almost score before I can sing my praises of Mr. Braxton, because we've been watching the last couple of years, and he's been, at least to me, the most impressive player in Wesco 3A South. So I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight, and you're saying he's a surprise start at quarterback, so I think he's going to do a lot of option plays, and right there, Malik was almost 6 points in the end zone.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I saw that flag out of the corner of my eye from the get-go, so I had a feeling it was coming back. But nonetheless, exciting play, and anytime number 5 gets the football, and if you give him a little bit of open space, he is electric.
Yeah, exciting, explosive. Pick your adjective. He's going to be fun to watch. And last year, he was strictly a tailback, and this year they have him doing more of a, I've said before, Percy Harvin role. He's sort of playing a lot of positions, always in motion, always keeping the defense in check. But now he's a quarterback, so they really got to see what's going to happen tonight.
Well, here we go. That moved them back 10 yards, so it's 1st and 20 on the 34-yard line. Gives the handoff to Rory Spillum. Spillum looking for a little room around the left side. Manages to find his way to the 42-yard line, a gain of 8 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 12 for Meadowdale. Let's get you caught up on the starting lineups here. As you can see, Malik Braxton is your quarterback tonight for the time being, and we'll talk about that a little bit here as we go along. He's also listed as a starting wide receiver. The guy can do it all, right?
He can do it all.
Donnie Evans, number 10, playing one wide receiver spot. Harry White, number 19, playing the other. Your tight end is your all-league player, number 32, Charlie White. We'll get you the rest of that lineup in just a minute as Spillum takes another handoff, and this time he's not going very far. Nice defensive play there. I believe that was number 18 on the play. And in fact, it was. That's Cameron Testerman making the tackle. And let's get you the rest of that starting lineup. Of course, Rory Spillum, number 4, the tailback. Number 2 in the West Coast South Division right now in rushing yards for the year. Spillum having himself a nice year. Get you the line also as well. Garrett Walsh, number 99, is listed as your starting fullback. Your line is Tim Smith playing left tackle. He wears number 52. Brandon Law playing left guard wearing number 54. Spencer Stark, number 75 at center. Right guard Lucas Humble, number 77. And then number 66, Peyton Smer, the right tackle. We'll talk about him more in just a minute as Braxton looks around to throw. Finally lobs one over the head of all the defenders, and it is caught down the field. Great improvisation by Malik Braxton. That is number 19 making the catch, Harrison White. And once again, we have another penalty flag in the backfield.
We'll wait to see what the call is, but sometimes it's just not fair that some schools have so much depth. Malik Braxton, the third string, quote-unquote, quarterback thinking he's just going to be able back there to be a threat to running. But he was able to extend the play, wait for a receiver to get open. Nice throw, nice patience, nice completion. But like we said, the wait for the flag. Both teams are starting to walk back to the line of scrimmage. So most likely, and there it is, legal man downfield against Meadowdale.
And give Braxton a lot of credit there. A guy like Malik who has the speed, often when they're playing quarterback, they will tuck that ball away quicker than others and just try to get down the field. He kept his eyes down the field the entire time, drew the defense in, and as soon as Harrison White broke open, just lobbed a pretty little pass over everybody's head.
Yeah, he's got the speed, the shiftiness, and on that play, he had Green in front of him. To have the patience to say, hey, wait, let's see if there's a better option than me running is pretty impressive for the young Malik Braxton.
And I mentioned earlier, number 66, Peyton Smyer, is the starting right tackle. Big night for Peyton. It's homecoming night here, and guess who the homecoming king is? Your starting right tackle. So we will not have him up here in the first quarter.
I was like, if this is going to be the trickiest of trick question, but it's not him. So, yeah, it's Peyton.
Peyton is the homecoming king, so we will not talk to him later. We might get a chance to talk to the homecoming queen. Stay tuned. And Braxton throws that one deep. He's got a man down there. Incomplete. Malik Braxton's got an arm. As Jesse Navlet was the intended wide receiver, Braxton threw that ball at least a good 50 yards in the air. Nice spiral, too. I think number 5 can do it all.
Not a perfect throw, but it was catchable. The receiver did almost have to do a Willie Mays catch completely over his head the way he was turning. So it hit one hand. So if it hits a hand, the receiver should catch it. So it was a close play by Malik there.
So Malik Braxton, and we have another penalty flag that was just thrown. And they're going to whistle this one. So I should point out, Malik Braxton was the starting quarterback tonight because first of all, J.P. Routon, the starting quarterback early in the season, still out with a shoulder injury. He's week to week right now, so he's not playing tonight. The other quarterback who's been starting, which has been Caleb Tingstead, Caleb apparently showed up for practice a little bit late the other day. So Coach Mike Don decided to bench him for the first series of the game. And apparently the first series, by definition, I guess, is only for the first few plays, because I'm noticing as Malik Braxton drops back into punt formation, his up man is in fact Caleb Tingstead, number 6. So Tingstead apparently has served his quote-unquote suspension already, and I believe that means that Caleb will probably be the starting quarterback when Meadowdale comes back onto offense later on. Nice punt away from Braxton.
So Braxton tonight has a pass. He's got a run. I'm sorry, that run got called back on. Well, he's had 2 passes. One called back on the penalty, a run called back on the penalty, but he has a throw. He now has a punt.
By the way, a 26-yard punt for Braxton, so Shorewood will take over possession on their own 30-yard line with 9:55 to go. I'm getting some scores from various people here as we get some tweets in here, and our game's a lot closer than a lot of the other ones going on right now. Marysville-Pilchuck and Marysville-Getchell playing in the quote-unquote Berry Bowl. Yes, it is the Berry Bowl. Right now the score is 51-0.
Don't change the subject. Berry Bowl, is that B-E-R-R-Y?
Yeah,
there's a guy named Barry that came up with it, like, hey,
could be
called the Johnny Bowl or something.
Could be both. It could be a little bit. I mean, it's Marysville. They pick a lot of berries up there. As here we go on the play. That's Coney, number 8 with the run. Gets stopped initially, goes back to the left, tries to find some space, but that's not happening, as I believe that was number 24, Stephen Buonto, coming up to make the tackle. Actually coming up from behind him as Buonto immediately overshot that play at first and then came back. And that will bring up a 2nd and 10 as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Got number 1, Aaron Okamura in at quarterback. Okamura, a junior, second-year starting quarterback. Fakes the handoff to Coney, throws it over the middle, incomplete. His intended receiver on that play was number 24, Isaac Whitaker. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. And then another score we were going to report, a halftime score. Or I guess the last report we got was just about a minute to go in the half. Mount Lake Terrace up on Shorecrest, 37-0.
That's good for Mount Lake Terrace.
I don't know what to say anymore. I keep getting criticized for being tough on Shorecrest, but Hey, good. Thanks for playing, I guess. Nice of you to show up.
They're a dog with fleas is all I got to say. It's too bad that they're having these seasons, and it just seems to be getting worse for the Scots of Shorecrest.
And that was number 8, Hassan Kone up the middle again. Kone, the junior who transferred to Shorewood from Nathan Hale, carries that ball for 4 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 6 with 8:48 to go here in the first quarter. And Shorewood is going to come on to punt now. Braxton back to return this kick. That's number 2, Mo Hawley with the punt. Ball takes a bounce and is going to keep on rolling. They get a very nice roll out of it. And it is finally going to be stopped on the 15-yard line. A very nice 51-yard punt. 8:22 to go in the first quarter. No score. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Okay, and we are back again. Edmund Stadium, 8:22 to go here in the first quarter. No score so far. And Meadowdale getting a quick penalty called against them again. They've been their own worst enemy here in the first quarter.
3 penalties, 3 huge penalties. It's not like it was an incomplete pass where there was a penalty. There was a potential 60-yard.
I think they've had 4 penalties,
4
right?
penalties already?
Yeah, 2 of them brought back big plays, and then I think were called for a illegal procedure right before the punt.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not even 4 minutes into the game, and they've got 4 penalties. And like you mentioned, 2 of those cost them about 80 yards worth of offense.
Yeah. Malik Braxton now in the slot. He has not been off the field yet. He's in motion. Sorry.
Tingstead back in. He hands off to Braxton, who throws deep, and he's got Donnie Evans wide open. Makes the catch at the 40, cuts back. He's still running. Spins out of one tackler and fumbles the ball at the 35. The ball is still on the ground. Let's see who got it. Shorewood football. Wow, what a play. Tingstead handed off to Braxton, who was sweeping around to the right. Look downfield at Donnie Evans running all by himself. Threw a great catch over his shoulder. By the time Evans caught the ball, the Shorewood defenders had a chance to catch up to him. Evans made a nice spin move initially to break away from one tackle, cut back on another, and finally fumbled the football, but not before he picked up about 60 yards on that play and finally fumbles the ball over to Shorewood on the 34.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say 50 yards. There was also a flag that was thrown at the Shorewood sideline. I'd be pretty excited about that, too, after seeing something go horribly wrong for them to a nice turnover.
The element of surprise working for Meadowdale. Unfortunately, they weren't quite able to finish the way they wanted to. Kone looking for some room out to the right. Doesn't find much space. Is able to finally get himself down to we'll call it the 37-yard line. A gain of 5 on the play. No, a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. And I will tell you what, just from covering another game earlier this year for Shorewood, Hassan Kone is a very legitimate tailback. May not have the offensive line that some of the other teams do in this league, but if he gets a chance, he can make some things happen. He's taking the handoff here, and this time trying to find room on the left side. Not happening, as he's got a whole slew of guys to meet him there, one of which, number 32, Charlie White.
They may give him a yard on that one.
We'll call it a 3rd and 6 on the play. 7:15 to go here first quarter. Meadowdale showing that they can move the ball on Shorewood, but they've been their own worst enemy after 2 possessions. Penalties costing them 1 drive. A fumble at the end of a large 50-yard gain costing them another. Now Shorewood with the ball for the second time. Okamura looking for his receiver, finds him, and he's drilled by Charlie White. But not before number 18, Cameron Testerman, makes the catch very close to the first down markers. And they spot him the first down.
That was a generous spot, or at least thought it would be close enough that they're going to measure. But, hey, Shorewood will take it. Their first down of the game tonight on their second possession.
Yeah, getting the ball up to the 45-yard line, their own 45. But like you mentioned, that gives them a little momentum. It gives them their first down of the game. And with 6:40 to go here in the first quarter, no score. Okamura back in shotgun formation, looks down the field, throws it across the middle. Almost threw that one right into the hands of Charlie White.
You're saying almost? No, that was thrown right into the hands of Charlie White.
Throws it right
Shorewood
into the hands of Charlie White.
Yeah, Shorewood is happy that was incomplete because that was a gift.
6:33 to go here in the first half. It's homecoming night.
As always, a great turnout by the Meadowdale faithful. Band doing a nice pregame show out on the track. Entertaining those in attendance, even the stragglers left from the 5 o'clock game, the Edmonds-Linwood game.
Yeah, at some point we're hoping to have Rebecca Kuhn come up and join us. She is the homecoming queen this year. As Okamura drops back to pass, and Okamura getting sacked. That's big 99. Garrett Walsh in there with a few friends. Very late penalty flag coming in as TT also in on that play. That is Teolovia. And they might have gotten Walsh for a face mask. Let's see what they call here.
Oh, man, Meadowdale.
Unintentional face mask. So again, we will not have the homecoming king up here with us tonight because he's a little busy playing football.
It's prima donnas these days.
Peyton Smyer, he's got a little business to take care of before he can come up here and join us. But again, we're hoping that the queen can come up here at some point and say a quick hello and talk to Rebecca about her week and how things are going. Stay tuned for that. 6:22 to go here in the first quarter. No score from Edmonds Stadium. Kone takes the handoff. He finds some room, and he's still going. Cuts it back into the middle and is finally brought down at the 32-yard line. A gain of 23 yards. And all of a sudden, the Shorewood Thunderbirds are on the move.
I'm sure both teams were coming to the stadium today thinking one team's better than the other. I think it's safe to say Meadowdale's a stronger team than Shorewood. But, like you're saying, Meadowdale's been shooting themselves in the foot all night tonight. Costly penalties, obviously at the wrong time. And as of now, Shorewood's taking advantage.
5:55 to go here first quarter. Okamura draw plays. He hands off to Kone. Kone finding some room. He's still going along the right-hand side. Pushes his way forward. Down to the 10-yard line. Nice explosiveness for Kone, and then muscles his way for a few extra yards at the very end. Picks up 22, actually 23. They spot it just inside the 10-yard line, and Shorewood's in business here, looking to get on the board first with 5:45 to go in the opening quarter.
You were just saying Kone was a good-looking running back.
I said he was a good running back.
Yeah, this drive's proving you correct in that analysis.
Okamura in shotgun formation. Hands off to Kone. Kone trying to find some space out to the right-hand side. Jimmy Bruders, all-league linebacker, makes sure that he doesn't go much further than the line of scrimmage. Had a little help there to finish him off as well by Zach Johnson, number 7. No gain. That brings up a 2nd and goal from the 10.
I see some of the Shorewood players wearing some pink tonight. It is October, and a lot of the, obviously, the NFL, a lot of the college teams are wearing pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Speaking of pink, and the Oregon Ducks yesterday were wearing black and pink at home, and sorry, Duck fans, that must have been rough.
Kone with the handoff, looking to run off of left tackle. Doesn't get much further as he gets, actually got ahead a little bit to the 6. Coming out of the pile is Stephen Buonto. They're going to say that Kone was, in fact, down, though. Brings up a 3rd and short from the 6. And, yeah, David, as you know, very near and dear to my heart, I am the son of a breast cancer survivor.
Yep.
So certainly when October rolls around and I see these guys wearing pink out there, I take a lot of pride in that, and I'm glad that they're doing so, and that really the NFL and college football and other sports have taken to recognizing this month as well. And it's a nice thing. As long as it keeps bringing those funds in, we like to see it. And we get a timeout. We'll keep it right here. We don't want to miss this. This 3rd and goal is coming up from the 6. Again, 4:34 to go here in the first quarter, and Shorewood looking to get on the board. And I shouldn't just glance over what you brought up a minute ago. I'm smiling right now, aren't I? The Oregon Ducks lost last night.
Yeah, and normally I like to stop talking before the snap of the ball, but I had to take a little bit of a dig there, even after the snap of the ball, because we enjoy an Oregon loss, especially at home. Sorry, Duck fans.
They lost to the University of Arizona 31-24 last night.
On national television, too, so that can't help recruiting.
No, it certainly cannot. But it helps the rest of us feel better about ourselves. As my two favorite college football
we
teams,
are
David.
Dogs fans and Cougar fans up here.
I am a Dog fan first and foremost, and then my second favorite team is whoever's playing against Oregon every single week.
I don't want to disagree too much, but I do take a little more comfort with an Oregon loss than a UW win. It's petty on my part. I'm seeking professional help, so at least I understand my weaknesses and I'm working on it. But until I fix it, go Wildcats last night.
Well, we know we've got a lot of Beaver fans in Meadowdale, and we'll point that out in just a second. Hey, there we go, a little flea flicker, no. Still going is Reggie Gary, and he gets into the end zone. Or Ronnie Gary, rather. Gary, a junior wide receiver who has looked good every time I've seen him play this year. Hadn't seen him at all this first drive. He'd been on the field, but hadn't really been a vital part of what they were doing. And finally, they give it to him on an end around, and he finds his way into the end zone. Thunderbird 6, Mavericks 0.
Well, that's something we didn't expect to see. A pretty solid drive by Shorewood. Not only that play was sniffed out by the defense. There were at least 2, if not 3 defenders on ready to tackle him, but it looks like they were trying to tackle too high, and he escaped and scored.
On for the PAT right now. That is number 50. You don't see that number for a kicker very often, but we do have a 50 out there. That's Riley Teeters. Puts the ball up through the uprights. The kick is good, and we will take a quick break. Might there be an upset in the making here? Stay tuned and find out. 4:25 to go in the first quarter. Shorewood 7, Meadowdale 0. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
The Allstate Insurance Agency of Jeff Smar is a proud sponsor of Wesco Athletics. Located in Northwest Bothell, Jeff's office services many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mill Creek. Contact Jeff for a quote at 425-949-7103 or email jeffsmar@allstate.com. And here we are. We are back again at the score 7-0. Shorewood with the early lead on Meadowdale.
I'm sorry, 7-0 who?
7-0 Shorewood, that is correct, as the squib kick goes down to the 30, and that is covered by number 54, Brandon Law. And hey, by the way, David, this game is being watched live right now at Red Onion Burger in Mount Lake Terrace. Teresa, be ready to help me here. Red Onion Burger is running a special from now until the end of the game. Well, maybe. They usually stay open until 9 o'clock on a Friday. If people are watching the game in the restaurant, they're going to stay open, so you need to get over there. Special tonight, $9.97, and we'll get to what that special is after this next play.
What a tease.
We are teasing, but it sounds delicious, doesn't it? Here comes Spillum. Spillum running to the left, cuts back into the middle a little bit, is finally dragged down at the 40-yard line, a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 coming up. So for $9.97, David, what do you get? You get a sirloin steak, a baked potato, and a side salad. Did I nail it, Teresa? Sirloin steak, baked potatoes, side salad for $9.97, and they have delicious milkshakes, too.
And the rumor has it next week they're going to be bringing that to the announcers in the booth.
They might bring their mascot here next week. Sean and Lorray, let's make that happen. Spillum looking for room up the middle. Gets forward to the 47-yard line, a gain of 7, and another Mavericks first down. Yeah, so get yourselves on over to Red Onion Burgers right now, located at 212th and 44th in Mount Lake Terrace. And again, the Richards, Sean and Lorray, we appreciate your sponsorship this year. They will be sponsoring the Red Onion Burger Player of the Game afterwards as well, and we'll have a T-shirt for that player. So when the game's over tonight, stick around for an interview with whomever that might be and see who we crown. Right now, it may not be a Meadowdale player unless they get going, is Caleb Tingstead. Not sure where he was going on that play. The quarterback gets dropped for a loss of 2. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 12, and Tingstead is very slow to get up.
thinking Malik Braxton's like, hey, coach, I can go back there too, don't forget.
I don't think they'll hesitate at this point if need be, as we have already seen what he can do. Tingstead, a tough kid. He also plays linebacker on the defensive side of things. And Meadowdale's going to call a timeout. We'll take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mount Lake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Look for a TR.
Here we go. 2nd and 12 coming up from the 45. You're right, David. Look for a tiara. We're looking for the homecoming queen. And that is Rory Spillum. He is not the homecoming queen, but he is the starting tailback for your Meadowdale Mavericks.
He was close second runner-up. That's what's surprising.
I don't think that's true. Spillum gets 7 yards to the 48-yard line of the Thunderbirds. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. And perhaps we're in 4-down territory for Meadowdale, depending on how this next play goes. So if anybody's watching the game, if you have Rebecca Cohn's number, tell her to get up here to the booth. We'd like to interview her. Text her, tweet her, I don't know, however you can get a hold of her. Send a pigeon over. Tingstead dropping back. He's got a ton of time. He's even having a sandwich while he's back there. Finally throws it deep to Evans. Oh. Incomplete. Ball thrown up into traffic. Evans being guarded by number 3 for Shorewood. That was Boston Vardal, as well as number 15, Matthew Nagy. Ball hits the turf, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 5, but we also have 2 penalty flags down.
And I saw it, Tingstead, clapping, so it was against Shorewood. Personal foul.
This is the last thing you want to do when your defense holds a team to a 4th down situation, giving them a free 1st down.
When you feel it, momentum's on your side and you're going to get the ball right back. I doubt they would have went for it on 4th down in the midfield. But that's not going to be a debatable point now, because that's automatic 1st down for Meadowdale.
Well, and especially in a game like this where Meadowdale has firepower. Meadowdale has essentially let you stay in the game with some of their own mental mistakes, and now you turn around and give one to them as well. Not what you want if you're the Thunderbirds. And Meadowdale now on the other side of the Shorewood 35-yard line for the first time tonight. They're on the 34. 2:31 to go here in the first quarter. Hand off to Spillum. Spillum's got a nice hole up the middle. Shoots out to the left-hand side. He's still going, and finally he slides down at the 21-yard line. A gain of 13 and another Mavericks 1st down.
13.
2:22, clock still running here. First quarter, homecoming night here at Edmonds Stadium for the Meadowdale Mavericks. Their offense looking to get on the board for the first time tonight as Spillum looks for room around the right, breaks out of the first tackler, dives his way forward to maybe the 20-yard line, maybe even inside the 20 for that matter. Didn't quite pick up 2 yards, but made something out of nothing as he was initially stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I missed tackle, you were saying, behind the line of scrimmage, but enough to slow Spillum down to have the rest of Shorewood's defense get on him. So good defense play, only a game of 1.
So here we go, 2nd and 9 from the 20-yard line. Caleb Tingstead back in shotgun formation. Hands it to Spillum one more time. Spillum's got room! Spillum's got the end zone! Touchdown, Mavericks! Rory Spillum from 20 yards out. And the Mavericks are a Brett Schaefer point after touchdown kick away from tying this one up with 1:32 to go in the first quarter.
That drive was the Rory Spillum show because he got all the drives. I already have him down with 8 carries for the game. And let's see, 6 of them on this drive alone. Last one for 20 yards.
And let's not forget that he had a lot of help on that front line as well, as some of those holes were looking very nice. Garrett Walsh playing fullback, Charlie White at tight end, and the lineman as well. The kick is up, the kick is good, and we are tied with 1:32 to go in the first quarter. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And here we go. Welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. Dave, what did you think of that touchdown?
It was impressive. Also, the wrap I'm eating right now. Thanks for asking.
I shouldn't have done that to you, but I just couldn't resist. Get a little dinner up here while you're on the air. Nothing wrong with that.
I thought that timeout was going to be a little longer.
Man's got to eat. Well, you also thought that I wasn't going to throw it to you right away, but
I assumed.
Here we go as Schaefer with a towering kick. It's not a very far one, though. It bounces on the 17-yard line and is picked up at the 15. And all of a sudden, we thought for a moment there we were going to have some room for Boston Vardahl. Vardahl getting up to the 26-yard line, brought down after an 11-yard kick return. And the Thunderbirds, who are now tied with the Mavericks, will take over at their own 26.
He was one high step away from getting at least 50 more yards. He probably saw what we were seeing and got real excited and thought he was going to be racing to the end zone. But
yeah, he had daylight for a quick second there, and it closed up on him very quickly. Did not see who made that tackle, but whoever it was might have saved, like you mentioned, if not a touchdown, a very long return. Okamura in shotgun formation again. Throws a little flare pass out to Gary on the left-hand side. Gary starts to run back towards the middle and then looks for room along the sidelines. Isn't going to find much. Ronnie Gary, who on the last possession scored the touchdown for Shorewood. This time he gets escorted out of bounds after maybe a pickup of a yard. We'll call it a 2nd and 9.
You're being generous. Oh, yeah, he maybe does have a yard.
We'll give him a yard anyway. Why not? Gary with a 6-yard run for that first touchdown. Doesn't quite find as much room there this time. The clock now shows 49 seconds to go in the quarter. Kone with a handoff up the middle. Finds a little bit of space, but not a whole lot. Did manage to get forward to the 32. We'll give him 4 yards on that play. And Shorewood looking at it 3rd and 5.
Well, not to be obvious here, Shorewood wants the first down here for no other reason to get momentum back and keep control of the clock and keep that powerful offense Meadowdale on the sideline.
Clock showing 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. This will be the last play of the quarter if they decide to run it. If not, we might get another playoff. Clock now showing 12. Fake the handoff. Okamura looking to pass. Pump fakes a couple times, finally throws it down the field. Incomplete. Great play by Donnie Evans. He read that ball perfectly, stepping right in front of Testerman. Got his hands on it briefly. Wasn't quite able to come up with it, however. But it does bring up a 4th down, and with 3 seconds to go in the quarter, Malik Braxton and Donnie Evans get to drop back into punt return formation, and Meadowdale's going to get this ball back.
Meadowdale's going to get the ball back when just on their last possession after that nice drive. Also, Shorewood's got to be thinking, oh, if we didn't do the personal foul after we stopped them after 3 yards. Eventually, Meadowdale went down to score, and now they're getting the ball back. Momentum's on their side clearly. A 7-7 tie.
And here is the punt. It's going to bounce at the 35-yard line and then go right out of bounds. So we're going to spot that. It looks like at the 31. 37-yard punt with no return, and that is the final play of the first quarter. We're tied up 7-7. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mount Lake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us.
And thank you for watching.
And we are back again, the first play of the second quarter. Rory Spillum looking for a little bit of room out to the right. Doesn't get much, might have picked up a yard. And as we mentioned a minute ago, it is homecoming week this week at Meadowdale, so it's the homecoming game. And we are now being joined by Becca Kuhn. Becca is the homecoming queen this year. Congratulations, Becca. Let me turn on your microphone. That might help here. I'm going to call one more play here first, and then we're going to go ahead and interview Becca. Tingstead drops back to pass, throws out a screen to Malik Braxton. Braxton finds room, cuts it back into the middle, and is finally brought down at the 41, a gain of 8 yards. So, Becca, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
When did you find out you were the homecoming queen?
I think last week.
You think last week? Or?
I think last week. Time flies by when you're at homecoming. Just everything becomes a blur.
I bet. Well, it's been an exciting week then, right?
Yeah, it's been very eventful.
So now, how are you feeling about? We'll go back for one more play here as Tingstead once again in shotgun formation hands this one off, and up the middle goes Spillum for maybe 2 yards, brings up 2nd and 8. So halftime tonight. It's got to be one of the more exciting moments of your life. Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, I certainly am.
Yeah, I mean, so family here. How many people do you have coming out to support you tonight?
My mom and dad are both here, and my whole school.
And your whole
That's
school.
all I need.
So tell us about the week a little bit. Was there a big assembly today, or?
Yeah. So every day's had like Spirit Day, and then today we had 3 assemblies. I was all
because
all
one's
of them.
not enough, right? You have to have 3.
Yeah, of course. And we had a coordination assembly, a pep assembly, and a spirit assembly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's changed since we were students, so hey, I think that's better, right? You get three chances to get out of class.
25-minute classes are nice.
You'll take that.
Yeah,
and so 25-minute classes, and you're the homecoming queen all week long. So have your classmates been treating you hold that thought for 1 second as Tingstead threw an incomplete pass a moment ago. This time he completes it to Braxton. First down the field. Gets tackled at the 40-yard line of Shorewood, and always the cheerleader. I see that. You're working the pom-poms there on the play. So this week, classmates been treating you any differently now that you're homecoming queen?
Well, they actually didn't find out till today.
So you've known all week, but they found out today?
Yeah.
How do you guys keep that a secret?
I told a few friends, but I kind of like it being quiet.
But I would think that the people who didn't get announced homecoming king or queen that were nominated, wouldn't they have already known they weren't homecoming king or queen?
They did know, but we were trying to kind of keep it quiet. It was pretty much between us.
Boy, in the day and age of social media and everything else, you were able to keep that quiet. That's impressive.
Pretty quiet.
Nice. So now your homecoming king, Peyton, he's out on the football field right now.
Out to there.
That's got to be a little weird. So you're down cheering. He's playing football, so you can't really sit in the stands and wear the crowns and everything else.
No, but that's okay. I like being down there.
You're okay with that.
I get a nice view.
Nice. So dance is when?
The homecoming dance is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. So you and Peyton get to wear the crowns. And
I'm not sure.
You're not sure how that works yet?
I may just on my own.
Okay. Hey, you are the homecoming queen. Is once again Tingstead dropping back to pass. Complete. No, Charlie White drops that one. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 15. How do you think the team's going to do tonight? You feeling pretty good about this game?
I'm feeling confident in my Mavericks.
You should, right?
I am.
It's been a good season so far for these
Yeah,
guys.
it really has.
You having a lot of fun doing the cheer thing?
Yeah, it's actually my first year, and I'm very excited. My first and last, but yeah, it's been really fun.
Well, and should ask you too. Then I know this is a cheer squad that's won a few state championships, right?
Yes, 2 in a row.
2 in a row, and you've never cheered until this year.
Yeah, I have danced previously, but this is my first year cheering.
So a little pressure on the newbies to make sure that you keep the tradition going and get another state title?
For sure, a lot of pressure.
Is this a team that can do that? As Tingstead throws another incomplete pass, is this a team capable of another state championship?
I feel confident in my own team, too.
There you go. So, hey, again, congratulations.
This
is a big night for the entire school, but really for homecoming queen.
Oh, thank you.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We're actually going to broadcast it at halftime, so we'll tell your family if you need to call them up, soundlivesportsnetwork.com.
Oh.
And keep an eye on out for the homecoming queen, Becca Kwan. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you, and have fun out there at halftime.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, take care.
Thanks.
So we are back again, 3rd and 15 on the 46-yard line. Meadowdale with the ball.
Way to put the pressure on her, Steve. You going to win state again this year?
Hey, well, they've won back-to-back, right?
Yeah, she was on it.
It's like asking a Bellevue football player if he can win state again, right? Here comes Tingstead. He's rolling out to the left.
She wasn't nervous to talk enough on camera that you got to really put the screws to her.
Then I start talking state championships.
Yeah. So will you drop out of school and and hang your head in shame if you don't make state champion? Because you should.
Hey, you go to Meadowdale. You've got some expectations to live up to.
That's true.
They get him going early here. You blame the coach, Kimberly Berry. She keeps winning. She keeps winning state championships. And what do you expect, right?
What do I expect is you not to be able to pull Kimberly Berry's name out because how do you know who the cheer coach is from Meadowdale?
When you're working on the Sound Live Sports Network, you've got to know a little bit of everything.
You got to do your homework.
We don't mess around here. As Malik Braxton back to punt one more time, looking to kick that one towards the corner, gets a nice bounce.
Oh, get it!
And oh my goodness, I'm not sure what number 25 Blake Jackson was thinking. Ball was placed perfectly. Jackson almost treated it like a hot potato, got out of the way. And the ball rolls into the end zone. We're going to take a quick break. Score is 7-7. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come.
And we are back again at Edmond Stadium. Hassan Kone finding some space. He's still running. They're going to say he stepped out, however, at the 46-yard line, but not until he gains 26 yards and picks up another first down. 8:43 to go here in the second quarter. If you're just tuning in, Shorewood 7, Meadowdale 7. Homecoming night here from Edmond Stadium. It's nice to meet Becca Cohn just now.
I wish she could say the same about you.
I just asked if they were going to win another state title.
Look, she's crying on the side. Steve.
I don't think she is. I think she's having a pretty good night, to be honest with you. The night of a lifetime, really. She's the homecoming queen. It doesn't get any better than that. Hassan Kone with another run to the left. No gain. Yeah, think about this now. She's on the cheer squad that's won back-to-back state championships.
She's definitely used to being in front of
albeit
her
no thanks to her, right? But
yeah, way to tell her, Steve. No thanks to you.
And she's the homecoming queen on a beautiful night, by the way. There's no rain. Usually when you schedule homecoming on October 3rd in Seattle, you don't know what you're going to get.
I was shocked also that they told her on Monday and say, hey, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never heard of that. Or the fact that in the day and age of social media, it didn't leak out. 2nd and 10 coming up. Another hint. No, Okamura is going to fake this one, keeps it himself, rolls out. He's looking deep. No, he's going to take off running, tucks it away, gets the first down, and is finally tackled at the 42-yard line. But at the end of the play, one of his offensive teammates took a little bit of a late hit at number 40. That's Tyler Ruby, the linebacker that went down. I think Shorewood's going to get called for unsportsmanlike here, and that ball is probably coming back 15 yards.
Is that unsportsmanlike or
personal foul?
Or a late hit on Meadowdale?
Oh, well, late hit would imply that it was on the quarterback, and this was actually one of the – It was the play is going to be against Shorewood. Shorewood offensive player took a shot at the linebacker at the end of the play.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Kind of blindsided him from the back there. So the 15-yard run is going to be wiped out essentially and brought back.
I believe that's after the play though. So they'll still have, will they get a first down on this?
Should get the first down, and then the 15 yards will be marched back. You're correct. By the way, we got to give a few shout-outs here tonight, David.
We like to do?
Yeah, we like to do that. We like to show that people are watching from, sometimes I say around the world. We've had those people.
We were at South Africa last year, Steve.
We did have South Africa. We've had, Copenhagen last year for a game, Australia for a couple of games.
Tacoma.
Yeah. Everett, wherever. But tonight I got a shout out to my mom first. She just texted. She's watching in Arizona tonight. Says to say hi to you, by the way. And she enjoyed the interview. So, Mom,
I enjoyed it too,
was
probably for a different reason, but it was more entertaining to see her. Well, she wasn't squirming, but no, it was a good interview.
I'm never going to hear the end of this one, and maybe rightfully so. So, hi, Mom. I'm glad you're watching tonight. And also, we're going to give
85-degree weather. Thanks for.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably isn't too bad there. We'll give another shout out here in a minute. Kone looking for room to the right, cuts it back. He's got a few blockers, trying to find room along the left, and he's to the sideline before he's finally shoved out of bounds. Hit hard by Charlie White. I don't know what that flag was for. We'll find out in just a minute as White just trucked Kone out of bounds at the 48-yard line, a gain of 8.
Kone, great running. Also, Okamura, the quarterback, great last improvisation blocking to free up Kone more. If this is against Meadowdale, which looks like it is, what's the penalty? He hit him too hard? Because he just tackled him and just knocked him off his feet. It looked like Kone was trying to keep his balance. And when you try to keep your balance running up the sideline, you can't really brace yourself. So when you get hit, you get knocked to the ground, which he did. But
the only thing that I can think of, and I don't know if we were not able to pick it up on that replay there, but unless the referee was under the impression that Charlie White either led with his head or took a shot at Kone's head, because like you said, I mean, from Charlie White's standpoint, he's just a tough player. He hits hard anyway.
Yeah, it was like he was just being too mean to him or something.
Almost looked like he was being penalized for being a little too rough. But at any rate, they're going to give 15 yards extra to Shorewood. Kone running right up the middle. Doesn't get very far this time. Might have picked up 3. And with 7:37 to go here in the second quarter, score still tied at 7. Shorewood is on the move.
I got to tell you, Shorewood is saying, hey, we can play with you. You're one of the best teams in the States, Meadowdale, but tonight that really doesn't matter. It sounds cliche-ish by me, and I'm sorry about that, but, the last 2 defenses on the field for both Meadowdale and Shorewood stopped the offenses, so it's an even game right now. 7 minutes to go in the half. If they score here, Shorewood gets the ball to start the second half. They got to feel pretty good where they're standing right now.
So Aaron Okamura, the junior quarterback, in shotgun formation one more time. His junior tailback, Hassan Kone, still in the backfield. Fakes the handoff to Kone. Okamura is going to keep it. Staying behind that line of scrimmage in case he wants to throw it. And Charlie White is not having any of it. Brings him down at the 34, maybe the 33-yard line. A loss of 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. By the way, David, I wanted to give the one other shout-out here as I was talking to Andre Braxton before the game, father of Malik. The Braxtons have a few folks down in California watching the game tonight. So Clay Hubbard and William Ward, a couple family friends, are cheering number 5 on, and got to like what they saw there in the first quarter, even though a couple of those plays came back. Braxton looking pretty good with the arm and with the legs.
Yeah, Malik has I'm not saying this with any hyperbole. I don't think he's been off the field tonight.
No, 3rd and 10 coming up. Charlie White with the blitz misses him, however. Ball is finally caught by Gary. Braxton tries to strip the ball. Gary breaks free of a couple of tacklers and finally fights his way forward for the first down. Give Ronnie Gary a lot of credit. He was a good 4 or 5 yards short of that first down marker when he initially caught the ball. Broke away from a couple of guys, spun his way down to the 23, and picks up another Shorewood first down.
From Okamura to Gary, that was a nice play all around because that offense kind of got blew up right there. Because you said there was a blitz up the middle. Okamura was able to get around, get a little more time, get the ball to Gary 4 or 5 yards short of the first down. But Gary kept his feet, kept moving, gets barely enough to get the first down.
If you are a Shorewood fan, you've got to be feeling pretty good about your future. Your quarterback, your running back, and your wide receiver are all juniors, and they all look good. Kone trying to find some space behind the right guard. Doesn't find much. Does get forward for maybe a yard. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
Kone is a junior, huh?
Kone is a junior. Kone and Gary, Ronnie Gary, number 8 and number 12, both transfers from Nathan Hale High School this year. And both look very good.
Yeah. No, this has been Kone's half for Shorewood. And I would say on Meadowdale side of their offense, Spilm's been the guy that's been carrying the mail most of the night.
So we got 2 receivers lined up to the left-hand side as Bardell goes in motion. Handoff goes to Kone. Kone looking to run to the left. Gets spun around and is finally brought down by a few different tacklers. Give credit to number 25. That's Blake Jackson making the initial stop, and then Jimmy Bruders comes over to finish him off.
And then my very unofficial tracking here, that was Let's see. It was Kone's 15th carry. I have him at exactly 100 yards for the night.
Not a bad night for a guy who I believe coming into the game had him down unofficially for the season as only having 96 yards of total rushing yards.
He's had 3 carries tonight of over 20 yards.
Doubled up his total here. And as soon as we say that, we see a different back. This time that's Devin Diaz, number 23, lining up. Okamura looking for room. Throws that one into the end zone. Incomplete. So we wait to see who that was. I believe that might have been Testerman, number 18. And give him a lot of credit as he had to make a little bit of an adjustment. Initially, Tyree Carson, number 22, the defensive back, had position on the ball, and Testerman cut in front of him. And for a moment there, I thought Testerman had a shot at a touchdown.
Yeah, I think he did. The pass was a little late. It's going to be 4th and 9 here on on Meadowdale's 24. I don't see a kicker out there, so.
That's the 22, so it would be a 39-yarder if they wanted to try it. However, they're going to go for it. Again, 7-7 score, 4:07 to go in the half. Shorewood looking to take the lead, getting blitzed. They throw a screen pass. Diaz catches it, cuts back into the middle, and he's not going to make it. Diaz doing a nice job to get into the middle of the field and had a brief shot at it. However, Meadowdale closed the gap quickly. Diaz picking up 8. He needed 9, however. Meadowdale takes over the ball with 4 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, I thought that was there. When he caught that screen pass, there was a lot of green around him. Give credit to the Meadowdale defense. They pretty much swarmed him and stopped him short, about 2 yards from getting a first down. So, over on downs, that's 3 defensive stops by the combined defenses right now.
Want to remind everybody to stick around at halftime. It is homecoming night here. We will be broadcasting the homecoming royalty ceremonies. Tingstead hands off the ball to Spillum. Spillum looking for room. Spillum finding extra room out to the right and is finally thrown to the turf by Testerman, but not before he picks up another 17 yards. Rory Spillum finding some room up the middle, and once that was shut off, he cuts it out to the right and finds a little more. And Meadowdale now in a little bit of a hurry-up offense. 3:48 to go in the second quarter. Tingstead has them right back to the line of scrimmage and ready to go again. You see number 11 running across the field. That's Jesse Navlet. Navlet running to line up on the right-hand side. 2 back set this time as Walsh and Braxton are both in the backfield. Braxton takes the handoff, cuts down the sideline, and is finally taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line. But there is, however, a penalty marker down at the 36.
I was just going to say, where's Braxton been most of this half after that initial series where he was Mr. Everything? And Spillum's taken over the show for Meadowdale, but we got a handoff for him, and fortunately for Meadowdale, it's coming back.
3:27 now showing on the clock. A very different game than what we might have been expecting tonight. This is a Meadowdale team that, as we mentioned, 3-1 overall on the year. Their one loss coming against a 4A team, Lake Stevens, and one of the better 4A teams in the state for that matter. A close game in week 1 of the season. Meadowdale, however, since then has looked very good as they've won very convincingly over both Mount Lake Terrace and Glacier Peak, and also have a win over Edmonds Woodway in overtime. This is a Shorewood team that's 2-2 overall, but 1-2 in conference. And Shorewood is hanging with Meadowdale very tough here in the first half. Braxton using those legs, and once he gets going, he has a burst of speed, finds his way up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 12, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Meadowdale looks like the better team. We said it a couple times tonight. They've been shooting themselves with a lot of costly penalties. Shorewood seems a little more consistent. I don't want to say tougher, but they've probably had one bad penalty that hurt them, and that was on the Meadowdale's only scoring drive. But this is a much better, more entertaining game than I thought coming here.
2:48 to go. A handoff goes to Spillum. Spillum finding room. He's already out to the first down. And finally gets brought down at the 48-yard line, a gain of 9. And the Mavericks continue to move the chains here with 2:42 to go as the home team hoping to get the lead before the half.
And on that, I have Spillum having 11 carries at exactly 100 yards. So both starting tailbacks for both teams at 100 yards for the evening.
And yet we only have 14 total points to show for it here in the first half. Spillum looking for more as he's already over the century mark. Adds to that total a little bit as he crosses midfield gets brought down at the 47 after a gain of 4. 2:11 showing here left in the first half. Meadowdale once again with a 2-back set. Big number 99, Garrett Walsh, lining up as the fullback. Spillum taking the ball. No, Tingstead keeps it, and Caleb can run a little bit, and he gets forward, and it's still going. Finally gets brought down at the 23-yard line. Quarterback keeper, and Caleb Tingstead picks up 24 yards, but there is another penalty flag down at the 39-yard line. And we are going to get a holding call against the Mavericks one more time.
There's another big penalty against Meadowdale. You know, some of them, the late hits, the personal fouls, those are just sort of mental mistakes. The holdings, obviously, it's a mistake too, but you can somewhat forgive that just for an offensive lineman trying to be a little more aggressive, assuming it was an offensive lineman. But we're, again, shooting themselves in the foot.
So 1:50 to go here in the first half. Shorewood and Meadowdale tied up at 7, and I will tell you what, David, it'll be interesting to see how the second half goes. This is the Shorewood team that a few weeks ago had played a very tough first half against Glacier Peak. It was 7-7 late in the second quarter before Glacier Peak ran off 40 points to finish the game off at 47-7. They will not want to do that again here tonight as Caleb throws the ball, finds Charlie White at the 33, and White finds his way down to the 23-yard line. That is a gain of 26 yards for the tight end. And Meadowdale picking up the first down with 1:23 to go in the half. Watching the royalty get ready to go down here on the field. The second homecoming of the night, Edmonds Woodway's homecoming, was the 5 o'clock game as Tingstead drops back to pass, rolls out to his left, tucks the ball away, puts his shoulder down and barrels over a Thunderbird player before he finally goes out of bounds at the 16. A gain of 7, which will bring up a 2nd and 3. And just to finish that thought, the first game of the night, final score was 21-6. Edmonds Woodway defeating Linwood in another 3A battle as Edmonds Woodway breaking their 3-game losing streak, 3 heartbreaking losses, I might add, in which they were tied up late in the fourth quarter in all 3 games. Tingstead throws out to Charlie White, and White is immediately brought down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 14. Did pick up 2 yards. And with 37 seconds to go here in the half, Meadowdale's going to call a quick timeout.
Yeah, and they got 1 timeout remaining. So, Steve, you mentioned 3 of the 4 Edmonds School District teams. You may have left out one of them and their progress tonight.
The Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks, yeah, they are playing Shorecrest tonight. Last score we had was 44-7 as they finally let Shorecrest on the board.
That was nice of them.
Yeah. Shorecrest has had a few of those games this year where people have let them in at the last moment. Shorewood beat Shorecrest last week 33-7. So Shorecrest, again, still looking for their first win of the season, and they're not going to get it tonight. It's going to take them down to 0-5 on the year. So as we were talking earlier about the Ducks, I wanted to give another shout-out to another Meadowdale player, Connor Hamlet, starting tight end for the Oregon State Beavers. The Ducks made me think of the fact that the big Civil War game just got a lot more interesting this year between the 2 Oregon schools. Hamlet, the 6'7", 266-pound tight end, having himself a nice year. He's 3rd on the Oregon State Beaver team in both catches and receiving yards. Even had a touchdown a few weeks ago against Hawaii. So big Connor Hamlet, they're going up against Colorado tomorrow. You can watch that on the Pac-12 network. Throw is out into the flat. Malik Braxton catches it, and he fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Mavericks. Caleb Tingstead throwing that ball out into the flat. And that's what you like to see from Meadowdale. Get Malik Braxton the ball in open space and let him create something. This time has to use a little muscle as he powers his way into the end zone. 30 seconds to go in the half.
Little muscle. He turned around after he caught the ball on the 5-yard line. 2 Shorewood defenders there ready to tackle him, and I thought for sure he was going to get pushed out of bounds. He just lowered his shoulder and rolled into the end zone. Nice pass to catch.
Braxton giving the team the lead. Schaefer kicks the ball up. It is good, and with 30 seconds to go in the half, Meadowdale 14, Shorewood 7. Again, we invite you to stick around for halftime. The Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show It's homecoming night, and the Meadowdale Mavericks are ahead 14-7. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And we are back again. Welcome back to Edmonds Stadium. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. I'd like to thank Shoreline for all of their support they've given this year and continue to give us and enabling us to bring these broadcasts to you. And speaking of broadcast, we're broadcasting one heck of a game tonight. The Meadowdale Mavericks taking their first lead of the game with 30 seconds to go in the half. They now lead 14-7. Schaefer with a big booming kickoff. Ronnie Gary takes it on the goal line. He's going to bring this one forward. Gets to the 20, finds a little bit of space, and he's still going, and he's got the kicker to beat. Cuts back and is finally brought down from behind by Stephen Buonto, but not until Gary gets to the 41-yard line of Meadowdale, a 58-yard return. And with 19 seconds to go and 2 timeouts showing on the board, Shorewood's got a shot here.
They do have a shot here. We haven't seen too much quick firepower coming from Shorewood tonight. It's been a lot of ground game led almost exclusively by Kone. But, hey, if you're going to put the ball up in the air, this is a good time to do it.
Yeah, 19 seconds left. Gary lined out to the left. Boston Vardell, number 3. He's their number 2 receiver on the year. Fake the handoff. Okamura looking deep. He's going to throw it towards the end zone. Drops incomplete with 11 seconds to go. 8 ticks go off the clock. Still have both timeouts remaining.
Yeah, and they got a quarterback with a stronger arm than I thought. That was almost 45 yards in the air, that throw. They could if you're sure, would hopefully get 2 more plays off, 2 more Hail Marys down to the end zone.
Well, if you want to, you can throw a 15 or 20-yard pass right here down the middle, get down quickly, call a timeout. You have 2 of them left. Can't take them with you, as they always say.
That's true. And I'm not thinking they're going to kick a field goal unless they get it to the 10 or maybe 15-yard line.
I completely agree. As Okamura looking out in the flat, finally looking downfield, eludes one tackler, pump fakes, and finally takes off running. 5-4-3. He better get down if he wants to run another play, but maybe not. He's got some room to the 5. Did he get in? We await the signal. Touchdown, Aaron Okamura. Wow. I couldn't figure out why he wasn't sliding down to get another playoff. He had other plans. Good for him. Aaron Okamura with a 41-yard scramble. Rolls out to the right, tucks it away, finally runs back through the middle of the field, and ends up diving for the left pylon. And Shorewood is now an extra point away from tying this game up with no time left on the clock.
Yeah, this drive started with the great return by Kone, who picked it up on the
Gary, actually.
Gary on the 1-yard line, brought it back to Meadowdale's 40, 45. 41.
And Shorewood apparently is going to use one of those timeouts. As we mentioned, you can't do anything with them once it's halftime, so they're going to use one right now, as they may not have had the right personnel on the field. And Shorewood, wow, I'm not going to lie. I thought this was going to be a 3 or 4 touchdown game tonight. Shorewood's got a chance to go into the half tied up.
I was also going to say that last drive may have been a motivational killer on Shorewood, because they were playing well in that half, and Meadowdale drove the ball down last time they had it pretty much at will. Scored, they had the ball under 2 minutes and scored, leaving 30 seconds on the clock, thinking we're going to halftime. Like you were saying, we were even thinking about what are we going to do at halftime and start talking about the third quarter. And you also said this is a pretty exciting game before that last play, so it got that much more exciting, and it's a pretty good night for football.
Pretty good night for football, a pretty good night for homecoming. The Meadowdale faithful gathering down by the field, and the royalty. We see the homecoming court down there, and parents and administrators of Meadowdale High School. Elizabeth Marriott. Beth Marriott keeping herself very busy tonight as the activities coordinator here at the school. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. The ball hit the upright, bounced down, and then hit the crossbar, and then fell forward instead of backwards, and that is the difference of our ball game right now. We head to halftime with Meadowdale by about 2 inches, holding on to the lead now. 14-13, Mavericks over the Thunderbird. We're going to take a quick break right now, and when we come back, the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show will be on, and we will be showcasing homecoming night here at Edmonds Stadium. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
So welcome back to Edmond Stadium. It is halftime right now. It is homecoming night. The Meadowdale Mavericks 14, the Shorewood Thunderbirds 13. Beth Marriott, the activities coordinator, getting ready to introduce the homecoming court right now. And at this point, I am going to turn off my microphone. I'm going to turn on the crowd mic and let you listen in on the Meadowdale homecoming court of 2014.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And we are back again, homecoming night. Here
Let me get in here.
Come on in, David Kostick. And nice jacket, by the way. We should showcase that a little bit. The new Sound Live Sports Network jackets are in, and shirts, jackets, we're all covered now. And forget about the attire. What a game tonight. 14-13, Meadowdale ahead of Shorewood. Shorewood looked like they were going to go down 14-7 at the half as Meadowdale scored the go-ahead touchdown with 30 seconds to go. Ronnie Gary then gets a 58-yard kickoff return. We're down to the final play of the half, and Aaron Okamura, the quarterback, looking to throw down the field, had nothing open, so he scrambles for a 41-yard touchdown. The PAT, as if that wasn't exciting enough, bounces off the upright and then bounces off the crossbar. Instead of falling backwards, it falls forward, and we have a one-point game at the half.
Yeah, and that last scramble by Shorewood, 0 time on the clock. So if he was stopped on the 1-inch line, they would have went to halftime down 14-7. So it was exciting because we were looking at the clock like, he better get down or score, thinking he's not going to score, and he went 20 yards because that's where he's around, and just got around the end zone and got the ball on the pylon. It was going to be a close call, either a touchdown or a fumble out of the end zone. Obviously, for Shorewood, that was good news. Momentum is a big thing in sports, and I think the younger the age, the more important it is. So for high school, thinking Shorewood's going to go in halftime. Okay, they're down 14-7, but they get the ball to start. They didn't give up. Meadowdale's probably thinking, hey, we got homecoming tomorrow. We're going to win this game. We got our feet on their necks. But no, like you said, the great return, the great run by quarterback for Shorewood. Sorry, I forgot his name. Okamura. And it's a 1-point game. Shorewood gets the ball to start. So I think this opening drive is going to be key to see how I think Meadowdale has to make the adjustments, because Shorewood's playing a great, tough game, a smart game. They Hassan
Kone, the running back.
I get these names out. Is having a great game. I mean, a solid runner. He's not really getting dropped for any losses tonight. He's not really a shifting runner, so he's getting his offensive lineman to give him holes, and when he gets through, he's able to break a couple and get some nice runs. Like I said, in the first half, he had 3 runs for over 20 yards. So for a junior, starting running back for Shorewood, they're looking really good, and they got to be feeling good right now. And like I said, momentum's on their side. If they can score on this opening drive, you can get a lot of nervous people on the Meadowdale sideline.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll see what happens. This is a Shorewood team that has not played in a close game all year. They've won 2 games. They've lost 2 games. Their 2 wins were by 26 points over Shorecrest and by 16 points over Everett. And then they lost a 28-point game to Mount Lake Terrace. And then they went to Glacier Peak and lost by 40. So this is a team that has not been in a tested situation yet this year, in which they've been running down the stretch and trying to figure out how they're going to handle a situation like that. It changes the complexion of, and it changes your approach to a second half of a game, really. How is your team going to handle the pressure of being in a tight situation late in the game? They've yet to be in one this year.
Yeah.
If this holds the way it is right now, they're going to get that chance. And Meadowdale, on the other hand, I mean, they've already won an overtime game against Edmonds Woodway. They, too, have not been in very many close games. They took care of Glacier Peak and Mount Lake Terrace rather easily. So should be a very fun second half.
Yeah, both teams could be playing what if in their head. Shorewood saying, hey, what if we win this? So Meadowdale, on the other hand, is what if we lose this? I mean, the whole season they have to reevaluate. Obviously, there's another half to go, a lot more football to see. But if there's pressure on any team, it's got to be Meadowdale, because this is not what they're expecting right now. The pressure on Shorewood is like, hey, let's keep up. Let's see what happens at the end of the game, because we know we're not going to give up. We didn't give up at the end of the first half, so we're going to keep on charging through.
And I don't know if you have the stats readily available to
I
you
have
there.
some of them, my chicken scratch, yeah.
Yeah, but we have 2 running backs right now, one for each team. Both starting tailbacks have over 100 yards in the first half. Hassan Kone, the junior, having a very good half so far, and he has how many unofficially?
Kone have right at 100 yards at 15 carries.
15 carries, so we've got just a little over 6 yards per carry, closer to 7. And then Rory Spillum, who's had himself one heck of a year all around, doing it again tonight with unofficially 104 yards.
104 yards, and really not many big breakaway runs. I have him for a 20-yard run and a 13-yard run. Everything else, and a 17-yard run. Everything else has been single digits. So just tough running by Rory Spillum and getting good yards. And I'm really just interested to see if they're going to get Malik Braxton more involved in the offense on this second half. If you're Meadowdale, you're thinking, hey, we're one of the best teams in the States. Do we really need to change our game plan for Shorewood? Well, they're only up a point, and they're going out and starting the field on defense. So do you trust your game plan, or do you say, hey, we got to make some changes? Or is it just an attitude thing, get your players mentally focused for a second half and they have to play better? We talked about it repeatedly in that first half. The penalties that Meadowdale was giving up, free yards or taking away yards that they gained on offense, giving them to Shorewood, killed them in that first half. Like I said earlier, I think Meadowdale's a much better looking team out there. However, they're not playing that way tonight. So,
and unofficially, we have Braxton down for how many carries? 1?
Yeah, only 1, yeah.
And how many receptions?
Receptions, 3 for 35 yards.
3 for 35. He has thrown 1 pass for 50. And again, he did have a large run that was brought back. If you tuned in late, Caleb Tingstead, the starting quarterback for Meadowdale, late for practice, I believe it was yesterday. So Coach Mike Don benched him for the first series tonight. Braxton played quarterback, and really, outside of the first series when he had the ball in his hand every snap, he hasn't touched the ball much. 3 catches, 1 rush, and then he had a 50-yard pass that he threw on a a tailback pass when he ran around the right-hand side. So really, Braxton, who we're used to seeing over the past couple years touch the ball 20 to 30 times a game, not getting as many touches the last few weeks, really. Didn't have very many against Edmonds Woodway. Had a few more last week against Glacier Peak. And again, tonight, we haven't really seen the full package of Malik Braxton yet. And part of that is because Rory Spillum is having himself such a great year at tailback that I know Mike Don and the coaching staff want to utilize Braxton in other ways, one of which is playing receiver. He is the leading receiver right now in terms of yardage coming into tonight in Wesco 3A South. So there is that, but at the same time, it's not the same as what we've seen in the past where he touches the ball on every other offensive play, and he's such an electric player. He does so much with the ball once he gets into open space and in creating it for himself sometimes, for that matter. This is a guy who, down the stretch, if this is a close game, you're going to want him to have that ball.
Yeah. Let's point out again, Caleb Tingstead is really the second QB for Meadowdale. Their starting quarterback got injured a few weeks ago, and he's still out. He's kind of week to week. So I'm sure Meadowdale feels more confident with their starting quarterback throwing the ball and getting the ball to Malik in the open field.
But again, Roughton and Tingstead had a very nice battle going early on in the season. Not a huge drop-off, but you're right. J.P. Roughton does provide them with a little more of a passing attack. Also enables Tingstead to move back to his tight end position and fullback, where he's another threat. So we're going to turn it back over to the field now, as that, once again, was your Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. We appreciate Action Jackson for bringing that to you. It's a lot of fun to also have the homecoming court coronation taking place on the broadcast tonight. Ball is kicked up into the air. This is Shorewood with the ball. That's Bordall with the ball. Vardal, rather. Brings the ball out to the 26-yard line where he is tackled. It's Boston Vardal, 5'8", 150-pound senior. Also number 2 on this team in receptions and yardage this year for the Thunderbirds. And Shorewood, as you mentioned earlier, down by a point here to start the third quarter, but they will have the ball to start.
I guess it would be safe to say we'll see a lot more Kone coming on this drive. He was working well in the first half.
As you mentioned earlier, 15 carries for 100 yards unofficially for Kone in the first half. The junior wearing the number 8 in the backfield along with the quarterback, Aaron Okamura. Okamura takes the snap, hands off to Kone, and Kone not going anywhere. 99, Garrett Walsh, the big fella, all-league player last year, letting Kone know it's not going to come easy this half. Picks up a yard. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9. Mentioned Meadowdale already sitting in the driver's seat for the most part for the 3A South title. If they can win this game tonight, it will all but wrap it up with just 2 league games remaining. Okamura drops back to pass. He looks for Testerman, finds him out on the left-hand side, or rather the right-hand side. It's pushed out at the 40. However, a late flag comes down at the 30 as we await the call.
That ref threw the flag, looked right back to the Shorewood bench. So
it looked as though he might have signaled an illegal man downfield.
That's a good call.
Yep, ineligible receiver downfield. Offensive linemen on those plays cannot move down the field past the line of scrimmage until after the ball is thrown, and I think by Okamura rolling out to the right, bought himself a little bit of time, and one of his linemen might have thought that ball was already thrown and consequently took off a little bit early, and that's going to bring that ball back.
We're talking about Meadowdale shooting themselves in the foot in the first half. This could be a big play. That was a 2nd and long, and they had enough to get the first down. Obviously, that's coming back, so it'll be 2nd and longer now, which is an official stat, I think.
2nd and 14 coming up. 11-11 showing in the third quarter of what has become a very entertaining and good ball game tonight. That's Diaz taking the handoff. Number 23, Devin Diaz, and Diaz not finding much room either. Got a few different players in on that play. So Charlie White celebrating that one, along with number 52, Timothy Smith. I believe number 25, Blake Jackson, was also in on the tackle.
Yeah, Meadowdale might be saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us in the air. You're not going to do it on the ground. 2 fairly unsuccessful runs for Shorewood in this opening drive.
That is a very imposing front 3 there. You've got Timothy Smith and Garrett Walsh on one side, and then you've got Big TT right in the middle. Not much room to run if you are a Mavericks opponent. Going to try a screen pass this time as they get it to Gary along the left side. Gary tries to go back into the middle, and he's swarmed. Charlie White initially making the contact. Stephen Buonto coming over to finish it off. It's going to bring up a 4th and long.
That's exactly what Meadowdale wanted to see. It's coming out here. We'll see if they'll live up to the reputation in the second half as opposed to what we saw in the first half.
4th and 13. We've got a punt situation. Mo Hawley back to punt one more time. Number 5, Malik Braxton. He's yet to return a punt tonight as Hawley has kept the ball on the ground, more or less keeping the ball away, and that was almost blocked as Jackson got in there quickly. Braxton catches it at the 35, looks for room around the left-hand side. Penalty flag comes flying down at the 40. This one's probably coming back. Braxton down the sideline. Touchdown Mavericks, maybe, as we await to see what that flag is. That's in the vicinity where it's usually on the return team, and this one is more than likely coming back.
Yeah, that was an obvious, at least to my eyes, a block in the back. And I'm like, where's the flag? And it was kind of late. And then the ref right in front of the coaches on the Shorewood sideline, he threw the flag. So, the Shorewood coaches had something to say to that ref. But it was a good call.
So Braxton already with a 56-yard run for a touchdown that was called back on the first play from scrimmage tonight. Now he has a 65-yard punt return called back. And, oh, by the way, that was one of those punt returns where he ran to the left. The flag was in the middle of the field. Whomever that was that got called for the hold was probably an unnecessary block, really. I think he was going to go the distance either way.
Well, like I said, I was watching it. It was more of a block in the back than a hold because I didn't see a hold, but I saw a definite block in the back. And I didn't get the number of the Shorewood player, but he was much bigger than Malik, and there's no way he was going to catch Braxton from behind. So, he was in the vicinity. He may have slowed him up, but he
was probably going for the touchdown, though, even if he does not get the penalty is the point. And it gets right back to what we were saying earlier. Meadowdale costing themselves here tonight with mental errors. That's the 3rd time we've seen a big play called back for the Mavericks, and consequently they're keeping the Thunderbirds in this game.
2 of them keeping Malik Braxton from huge yards tonight.
Huge touchdowns.
Yeah.
So 9:35 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Meadowdale with their first possession of the half. They lead 14-13. Tingstead hands it off to Spillum. Spillum finding room on the right. Cuts it back into the middle. He gets to midfield and is finally brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 30 yards. And Rory Spillum, who had 104 yards unofficially in the first half, puts up another 30 right off the bat. Meadowdale on one play has crossed over the midfield marker.
Yeah, this is a no huddle. They're getting her up the line quick.
Donnie Evans going in motion. He's going to line up near side on the right side. Tingstead takes the snap, hands off to Spillum. Spillum cuts it back into the middle. Brought down hard, but not before he gets to the 40-yard line and picks up 5 more yards. Spillum getting that much closer to 200 tonight. He's at 139 unofficially now.
Yeah. Meadowdale moving the ball. They've been moving the ball pretty well tonight. Again, shooting themselves in the foot is what's stopping their drives, or stopping most of their drives.
Got 2 players in the backfield with Tingstead. It's number 21 back there right now. Tingstead rolls out to his left. He's thrown to 21, incomplete. I'm looking at my Meadowdale roster. I don't have a 21 on it, so that's why I'm not calling him by his name.
I see it.
You have a 21 on your sheet. There we go. That's
Paul Savchuk, a fullback.
Paul Savchuk, who's not on the main roster, but is on the 2-deep sheet that Coach Don gave us earlier. So we apologize for Mr. Savchuk for not having his name there the first time, but we do in fact have it. First time we've called his name tonight, and unfortunately for him, was not able to come up with a catch, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. So Savchuk in the backfield one more time, playing fullback. Same place he lined up on that last play. Spillum right behind him, and Spillum's going to take the handoff, and Spillum brought down in the backfield, and that is number 18, Cameron Testerman. Testerman having himself one heck of a game for Shorewood. It seems like every time we call a tackle for them, he seems to be the man, and that's a loss of 5 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 10.
He read that snap perfectly. He was moving at the snap of the ball right at the line of scrimmage, and he was in the backfield before the handoff was completed. So
Braxton back to take the punt, and I don't know if there's a more dangerous punter in the league to do a fake. See if he does it right here. He's going to roll out to his left. He is going to keep it. Gets to the 45, finds some more room. First down for Malik. Dives to the 31-yard line. Make it the 32. He needed 10 yards. He got 13. Meadowdale with the first down.
Nice call, Steve
You
Willits.
like that? You've got the most explosive running back in all of Wesco 3A South anyway. Maybe right up there with Austin Joyner up at Marysville Pilchuck for all of Wesco for that matter. He's your punter, and at some point you know that if he sees an opening, he's taking it.
Yeah, and you saw how he sort of ran a few steps before he decided on an earlier kick that he did actually, early punt they did actually kick. He ran about 4 or 5 steps before he kicked, so it didn't look like he was running from the snap. He had time to think about it. So
7:48 to go here, third quarter. New set of downs for Meadowdale. Spillum running out to the left. He's looking for the sideline. He's looking for room, and he's got it. 15. Spins back in towards the 10 and is finally pushed out of bounds. They're going to spot him right at the 10-yard line. Rory with 22 more yards. And Meadowdale looking for more points here. They have a 1-point lead. Trying to expand on that right now. They've got first and goal coming up with 7:38 to go in the third. Paul Sapchuk playing fullback again. Spilling behind him as Tingstead awaits the snap. Fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. Tingstead looking for the pylon. No, gets pushed out of bounds just a little bit short of the goal line. Tingstead with the quarterback keeper. Got very close to that goal line, but just comes up a smidge short. It's going to bring up a second and goal on the 1, and Meadowdale wasting no time. They get right back to the line of scrimmage. This time, Tingstead's under center. See if he keeps this one himself. Tries to, doesn't get there. Second effort, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mavericks. Caleb Tingstead was not going to be denied. Took that snap, was initially shoved back a yard or two. Gave it a second effort, and that time he found the end zone. Meadowdale now with the 20-13 lead as Brett Schaefer comes on to attempt the point after touchdown.
Well, you can start feeling the momentum swing right now. Shorewood opened the second half with the ball. They went 3 and out. And then Shorewood initially got stopped, but on the 4th down fake punt, kept the drive alive and scored what's going to be probably 7 here in a couple seconds.
Well, 7, soon to be 8 here in a second. Here's Schaefer on to attempt the PAT. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 7:27 to go in the third quarter. It's 21-13 Meadowdale. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. The Meadowdale Mavericks with their largest lead of the night now, 21-13 with 7:27 to go in the third quarter. Steve Willits along with Dave Kostyk. And Dave, you are absolutely right with what you said right before we went to break. Meadowdale coming out in this third quarter, and they seem to have all the momentum.
Momentum and almost a look of determination. We're talking about their sprint to the line of scrimmage, not huddling up much. Like here to take care of business.
Eye of the tiger, so to speak. Brett Schaefer with the kick. Vardal takes it at the 5. He's along the right-hand side and gets put down at the 18-yard line. A return of only 13 yards, and as if Shorewood needed an additional challenge, they're going to have to go even further this time, as that ball not even able to come out to the 20.
Well, Shorewood's first drive to start the second half, it did get hampered by a penalty. Unfortunately for them, a penalty after picking up the first down. So they were unsuccessful with 2 rushing plays, and then their bubble screen pass only got 1 or 2 yards too. So we'll see if they'll stay on the ground or mix things up here.
So 1st and 10, 18-yard line. Aaron Okamura, the quarterback. Ronnie Gary goes in motion, hands off to Kone. Kone looking for room around the right and does not find very much at all. Finds a lot of blue jersey is what he finds. Meadowdale standing him up. Whistles finally blow as he gets to the 20-yard line. Might have picked up 2 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Yeah, a lot of gang tackling here too. This second half, it's usually 3 or 4 hats of Meadowdale defenders on Kone when he's running the ball.
6:50 to go here, third quarter. 21-13 Meadowdale. Okamura, shotgun formation. Fakes the handoff to Kone, rolls out. He's getting blitzed. Gets away from Jackson, or does he? Nice job by number 25. That was Blake Jackson. Almost had him in the grasp. Finally, Okamura just throws it in Testerman's direction, but really no chance to complete that ball at all as Blake Jackson did his job.
Very athletic move by Aaron Okamura. He was down, he was in the grass, but he was able to spin away. Not only that, because he stayed in the pocket the entire time. He didn't get outside the tackle, so he had to find some receiver just to get the ball into that vicinity, and he did. So instead of 3rd and a mile, it's the 3rd and doable 8 yards.
So 3 receivers set for Shorewood. Gary and Bardell out to the left. Penalty flag is down. Jackson looking for the sack. This time he gets it. Blake Jackson tackling Okamura at the 10-yard line. Loss of 10 yards, and there is a penalty marker down at the 17-yard line. I think if you are Meadowdale and it is on the offense, you decline this one, and that would bring up a 4th and 18.
Yeah.
Illegal procedure on the offense, and again, that is a declinable penalty. Meadowdale's going to make them punt it right there from the 10-yard line. And Braxton for Meadowdale dropping back. The Mavericks already with an 8-point lead, and Braxton lining up at the 50-yard line. You've got to assume that Meadowdale's going to get the ball in very good field position after this punt.
Yeah, you got to think Malik's licking his chops. He's like saying, no one on my team better do a hold, better block in the back. I want to run this ball and not have to come back and waste my breath running down to the end zone. Yeah, when you're standing in the opponent's side of the field to receive a punt, you're feeling pretty good.
Ball looks like it might have gone off the side of the foot of the punter. That's Mo Hawley on the kick. Spotted out at the 35-yard line, a 25-yard kick. Meadowdale's going to have the ball in very good field position. Dave, are you going to the Alderwood Mall tomorrow?
Okay.
Is that a yes or a no, or not sure yet?
Well,
you've got a 5K in you, right? You can do a little running. We've got the Celebrate Schools 5K run walk tomorrow, benefiting the Edmonds School District Foundation. It's not too late to register if you're interested.
Now, what does the mall have to do with anything?
It's at the Alderwood Mall.
Is it in the Alderwood Mall?
It's the starting point is at the Alderwood Mall, in the parking lot by Lowe's Theater. So 5K, run or walk, so you don't even have to run. And again, all the funds go for the Edmonds School District Foundation.
And what time does that start?
Starts at registration starts at 7.
In the morning?
In the morning.
I'll be there at 6:30.
I'm sure you won't. We get a little bit of a flinch there, and they're going to let this play out as no penalty flags come down. Spillum looking for room and not finding it, as that again was, guess who, number 18, Cameron Testerman on another tackle. No gain. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. So again, tomorrow morning, the run itself starts at 8 a.m. 7 a.m. is registration if you haven't already pre-registered, and based on your initial answer, I'm guessing you have not.
Well, I'm off running.
Since you didn't know that the event was even taking place. Yep. And at 9 o'clock after the run/walk, the Battle of the Bands. I believe all 4 schools from the school district will have their bands there, and they have a little contest to see who can win and see which school has the most school spirit. I think maybe the cheer squads will be there as well, as here comes a blitz from Testerman. Almost jumped off sides as Tingstead looking for room around the left. Finds a little bit. I thought he was going to be brought down for a gain of 1 or 2 yards and might have picked up a 3rd yard. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. So again, tomorrow morning in front of Lowe's Theater at the mall, 8 o'clock is the run/walk. I think it goes, the trail itself or the The route is right along the inner urban trail, so it's a nice little route.
The weather will be perfect.
Weather should be great tomorrow, and I might even be there. I'm debating it still, so I might show up and put on the running shoes and have a little fun with that. But again, all the money goes towards the Edmonds School District. If you want to find out more about that, website is foundationesd.org. Tingstead fumbling that one, a little bit of a miscommunication there between him and Spillum. He keeps it himself and gets forward to the 29-yard line. It's going to bring up a very interesting 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 coming up for Meadowdale at the 29. And by the way, they have a kicker named Brett Schaefer.
Great kicker.
Who, one of the better kickers in the state, really, who can make this field goal. And we saw him make a field goal of almost the exact same distance to put them in the lead against Edmonds Woodway a few weeks ago, late in the 4th quarter.
And despite him being a lefty, he still cooks pretty well.
And you know what? He's not even going to get a chance this time as Tingstead is staying out there with the offense.
Try to get him jump off sides. Nope.
They're going to play it, and they're going to pass this time. Gets it, and gets it to Braxton. He tried to turn upfield and run before he put it away. Ball is incomplete, and we've got a turnover on downs. And with 4:13 to go in the 3rd quarter, Shorewood still only one score out of this one. It's 21-13.
Wow. That was a gift. You talk about Meadowdale shooting themselves in the foot earlier on penalties. That was right in the hands of Malik Braxton, and I've been singing the praises of him all night. I still will continue, but he's thinking about that right now. But he can make up for it. When you play both sides of the ball, you can make up for a bad offensive play with a very good defensive play. So we'll see what he can do here on D.
And you're right, he is lined up at the right corner right now. Okamura back in shotgun formation, hands off to Kone one more time. Kone not finding much room there as he gets forward for a gain of about 2 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. So, speaking of activities around the school district, I was looking at some of the other sports results this year. We were more specifically Shorewood and Meadowdale. And Shorewood, I'll tell you what, they're having a good fall sports year over there. Soccer, I guess their tennis team is 10-1 on the season.
We're always good at tennis.
They're 8-0 in conference, I should mention. So we'll get back to that in just a second here as Okamura takes the snap, looking to throw to Gary, finds him along the left-hand side. Gary breaks through the first tackler, and for the second time tonight, Gary catches a ball behind the first down marker and then fights his way forward to move the chains after a gain of 9 and another Shorewood first down. And as I was mentioning, Shorewood tennis 10-1 on the year. Their swimming team, their women's swimming team, it's 7-0 on the year, so they're undefeated. Soccer team 3-0-2 on the year, so they're undefeated through league play through 5 games. And by the way, these two schools are playing each other in soccer on Monday. Well, I take that back. I got that wrong. They just played each other yesterday. I was looking at the next game. Is Kone looking for a little bit of room? Not finding much. He might have picked up a yard. Yeah, so Shorewood beat Meadowdale last night 2-1 in soccer. And I guess I was looking at the next game. Meadowdale's next home game is right here in this stadium on Monday against Oak Harbor. So certainly would like to invite people to come out and support the local teams, both Meadowdale and Shorewood folks. If you're listening, you can always find these schedules on wescoathletics.com. There's quite a few sports going on in the fall, and it's not just all about football.
Yeah, and if you're the Shorewood AD, Vicki Gorman, she's got to be updating her resume right now or asking for a raise because those are pretty good numbers here for all the fall sports.
And a football team that's 2-2 coming into tonight. So Okamura looking deep over the middle. He's looking for Testerman. Incomplete. And while we are mentioning it, I wanted to also point out that if you are a Meadowdale fan, Thursday your swimming team is back at home against Linwood. It's a 2:45 start at the Linwood pool. And your next volleyball home match against Arlington Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So make sure you're out there. Make sure you're supporting those teams. And Meadowdale, by the way, your boys' team is 6-4 this year in tennis, so that's not bad either.
Oh, at Meadowdale, yeah. Oh, that's right. I have some ties to the Meadowdale tennis program, yes.
Weren't you at one time the head coach here at Meadowdale?
I was never the head coach.
Oh, you were the
JV girls for a couple of years and the boys for a couple of years.
Okamura getting blitzed by Jackson, throws it away quickly to Kone. Hits him in the back, incomplete, and that brings up a 4th and 9.
But I'm here tonight as an impartial viewer of the game tonight. But go Mavs, if I can.
There you go, absolutely. It's Edmonds School District broadcast. You can do that. So the fall is always a fun time for sports. We didn't even touch on track and field, cross country, which is going on right now.
You know why fall is also, at least for me, the most my favorite? because the weather is always much better in the fall than the spring. Obviously, it's better than the winter sports. Those are all indoors, but
you hope. I mean, October is always kind of a wild card, but so far we've been pretty lucky, knock on wood. Hawley gets off a nice kick here, right over to Braxton at the 20. Braxton finds some space. He's in opening now at 35. Tries to cut back and just loses his footing at the 37. A 17-yard pickup for Braxton on the return. And we're going to keep it right here as with 2:11 to go in the third quarter. It's still 21-13.
Well, the Shorewood defense, nice stop on Meadowdale's last possession, having them turn over on downs. Again, it was an easy dropped pass by Meadowdale that allowed the turnover on downs. But we'll see how Shorewood does here if they're still fighting tonight. Because only, like I said, only down a score, but it seems like Meadowdale's just on the brink of breaking this wide open.
I'm very impressed with the Shorewood team. We broadcasted their game against Mount Lake Terrace a few weeks ago, and they look vastly different, especially on the defensive side of things, as Braxton almost made that catch, couldn't hold on to it, and there's a penalty marker down back by the quarterback. Caleb Tingstead ended up on his back. I wonder if that might be a late hit against Shorewood.
Yeah, on the quarterback with the referee literally 3 feet away. He's going to call that every time.
That should be a 15-yarder, which will give Meadowdale the ball on the other side of the Shorewood 50-yard line. 2:05 showing on the clock here in the third quarter. As I was saying a minute ago, we called a Shorewood Mount Lake Terrace game a few weeks ago, a game in which Mount Lake Terrace scored 7 touchdowns and really were never stopped all night. The only time they were stopped was when they ran out of time in the half. And tonight, a much different story as the Shorewood defense is playing a high-octane Maverick offense, very tough. And they've been able to move the ball on the offensive side of things as well and really are making a game out of this as we're almost 3 quarters in. Tingstead looking over the middle, and he finds his connector. That is Charlie White, who gets upended. Nice tackle by Boston Vardal, who flips him at the 28. White, however, does pick up a 20-yard gain and picks up a first down for the Mavericks.
I was going to say, Meadowdale's been getting their yards tonight on offense, but not too many huge plays, no 50-plus yard plays. So that's where Shorewood's really been looking good tonight, giving up some yards, but not the big plays.
When you have a tight end like White you can drag across the middle, you're always in pretty good shape, and he's made a few big catches tonight now. Spillum just diving right up the middle there, gets behind his big offensive lineman and gets down to the 20, picks up 8 yards on that play. Clock continues to run here. 1:22 to go, third quarter. Meadowdale looking for a little cushion here. They're already up by 8. They have the only touchdown here so far in the half. There's a quarterback keeper by Caleb Tingstead. Hands off to Spillum. Spillum looking for room around the right. Did a nice job of spinning off of that as number 73 for Shorewood. Emmanuel Mamo had him by the arm at first, and Spillum, even though he was being dragged down by Mamo, managed to spin forward for a couple extra yards, picks up 6, and picks up another first down.
I have no idea how he got 6 on that one. It's like he was stopped at 2 yards ahead.
First and 10 at the 14-yard line. We're now under a minute to go, third quarter. Tingstead fakes the handoff, rolls out to the left, throws it into the end zone. Touchdown, Mavericks! Charlie White, the tight end, with his first TD of the night. It's the 4th different Maverick to score a touchdown here. And with 42 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Mavericks 27, the T-Birds 13. So Charlie White, the big tight end, a huge 20-yard catch over the middle just a few moments ago, and this time he gets a 14-yard touchdown, putting the Mavericks up by 14, and with the point after attempt going up and through the uprights by Schaefer, it is now a 15-point lead. So Meadowdale with their biggest lead of the night, 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And here we go, 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Brett Schaefer puts that kickoff out of the end zone, and Shorewood will start this possession on the 20-yard line. 28-13, Meadowdale taking over here in the third quarter, scoring all 14 points. They're out to their biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, I was just saying, it feels like Meadowdale, the momentum is teetering, that they're really going to start blowing it open. And I don't know, that drive seemed pretty easy for Meadowdale. No trickeration, even though they did get a 15-yard penalty from the roughing the passer against Shorewood. Other than that, they drove down the field, like I said, pretty easily.
Just good old-fashioned smash-mouth football up the middle. Find your tight end on drag patterns and get into the end zone as Okamura is going to put it up deep to Gary. Gary with the catch.
Oh, nice.
And he goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line of Meadowdale. Correction, they're going to spot him out at midfield. A 30-yard catch for the junior, and Ronnie Gary continues to impress.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was the old-fashioned way Meadowdale scored? Did you run up the middle, then find the tight end for the drag?
They threw a drag pattern across the middle to White there for about 20 yards.
Oh, okay. That's sort of old-fashioned. I was thinking more three
yards in a cloud of dust. That's old-fashioned, right?
Yeah. Well,
as Okamura dropping back, and there's an old-fashioned sack right there is what that is, as Blake Jackson gets in, gets a little bit of help from Charlie White. That is a loss of 10 yards, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 20. Point being, there was no trickeration involved. There were no flea flickers or running back passes or fake punts or anything like that. It was just
it's getting late in the night, Steve.
11 on 11 type of thing, yeah.
Sorry for bracing you on that one. You're right. I was being picky.
You tried. Hey, we're going to get a timeout, and when we're not getting a timeout, no being picky here. That's just the end of the quarter.
That's an old-fashioned timeout.
There we go. Meadowdale taking over here in the third. Your score, the Mavericks 28, the T-Birds 13. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students, to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mount Lake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
Three quarters are in the books. 12 more minutes to go. Meadowdale 28, Shorewood 13. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. And we start the fourth quarter off with a Hassan Kone tailback run up the middle for Shorewood. Kone gets forward for a gain of about 4 yards. Might have even picked up 5 on that play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 15 for the T-Birds, and the T-Birds needing to get something going quickly here if they're going to stay in this game. They trail by 2 touchdowns right now, and they've only got 11:32 showing on this clock.
Rushes for Kone this half. 1 yard, 2 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, and that for 5 yards.
Yeah, seeing that he had 100 in the first half, it's been a much different story here since the break. Kone with a fake handoff this time. Okamura finding Vardal over the middle, and Vardal still going and is finally brought down at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 32 yards for the Shorewood Thunderbirds. Okamura just dropping back, finding Vardal over the middle, and Vardal then picking up some nice yak yardage there, yards after catch. Gets all the way down to the 23 and picks up a very big first down for the T-Birds.
Boston Vardal. That's a cool first name.
I like the name. Boston with a Y, by the way. Yep. Bostyn. Okamura looking over the middle. He's throwing towards the end zone and overthrows everybody. He was looking for number 10, Reed Kopik. Kopik, the senior wide receiver, yet to see a catch tonight. Still hasn't seen one as that ball was thrown a good 10 yards over his head. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Remind everybody that we've got another big week of football next Friday night, a doubleheader once again from Edmund Stadium. The Mountain Lake Terrace Hawks with a record of 4-1. First time they've been 4-1 in over 40 years, I might add. They're going to be playing Glacier Peak at 5 p.m. A game we'll be broadcasting on the Sound Live Sports Network. Kone taking the handoff. Barrels his way forward for maybe 2 yards on that play as Jimmy Bruder's making the tackle. And then at 8 o'clock next week, your Meadowdale Mavericks will be taking on the Linwood Royals, a much improved Linwood Royals team, I might add. And that will be the 8 p.m. game, and both of those can be seen right here on the Sound Live Sports Network.
And talk about that first game, the Mount Lake Terrace Glacier Peak matchup, how the winner of that game can really control, the destiny for their season.
Yeah, we'll go there in just a moment here, as that is a big game from that standpoint. Okamura takes the snap, fakes it to Kone, looking down the field, throws it over the middle, finds Testerman. Testerman runs towards the right sideline, powers his way down to the 5-yard line. The Thunderbirds are not going away yet. They're going to make this one a little more interesting there as Testerman picks up the 1st and goal for the Thunderbirds. And yeah, you're right, David. This is a 7-team South League this year. Wesco 3A South. Teams that finish in 1st and 2nd place will automatically qualify for the state playoffs. Team that finishes in 3rd will more than likely, depending on how Ferndale does up north, they play in a separate league from us, going under the assumption Ferndale will pick up a playoff spot, which means if you finish 3rd in Wesco 3A South, you will have to play a game against the 3rd place team in Wesco 3A North as Kone takes this handoff, tries to find some room around the left side and doesn't find much of anything. Buonto was there. White was there. Timothy Smith was there. A whole bunch of Mavericks making sure that Kone's not going anywhere.
Who wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. But, again, if you finish in 2nd place in this league, you you guarantee yourself a playoff spot. Right now, Glacier Peak and Mount Lake Terrace seem to be positioned best to finish in 2nd place. Glacier Peak still has a big game coming up against Edmonds Woodway down the road here, but Mount Lake Terrace can certainly do a nice job of moving towards 2nd place after beating Edmonds Woodway.
Yep.
They've already lost to Meadowdale. As Kone faked the handoff to him, they throw it over the middle. Testerman with the touchdown. Cameron Testerman flips that ball back to the referee. There's a big PAT coming up here, however, as they showed that they're not necessarily automatic, as Shorewood missed their last PAT attempt at the end of the first half, and if they miss this one, it's going to make this a 2-possession game still, as it's now 28-19 with 8:55 to go in the 4th quarter, and rather than take a chance, it looks as though they're just going to go for 2.
Right when I was ready to say Shorewood has packed it up for the night, they proved me wrong, and that was a nice drive, both on the ground and in the air. Something we haven't seen from them all night.
Okamura calling out the signals. He's got Kone in the backfield. Throws it out to the right. Vardal with the catch. 2-point conversion is successful. And we have a 28-21 ball game now. 7 points separate these two teams, and there's 8:55 left on the clock. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
And we are back again, 28-21. I want to thank Jeff Smar from Allstate Insurance, as we just ran that commercial a minute ago. Jeff's always done a nice job to support local athletics in the area. Of course, his son Jason was a star football player in football, baseball, and basketball, I should say, at Edmonds Woodway High School up until last year. And Jeff, thank you for your continued support. Here we go. We've got 9 minutes to go in this game, and it's getting very interesting. Shorewood scoring the touchdown is Cameron Testerman catching the touchdown pass, and then Boston Vardal catching the two-point conversion, and all of a sudden it is a 28-21 ball game.
I want to recognize Reed Kopech on that two-point conversion. He was the wide-out receiver on the right-hand side blocking the cornerback, letting the Vardal get around the outside. I was impressed by that play that was drawn up and executed perfectly. And if Kopech wasn't making that block, there's no 2 points there.
So perhaps a little more pressure on Meadowdale right now as they are holding on to a 7-point lead. Spillum looking for room around the right-hand side. Picks up another first down, and he's not done yet. He spins out of a couple of tacklers and is finally pushed out at the 42-yard line. A gain of 18 yards for Rory. And we were just starting to point out that Meadowdale needs to keep the ball and keep that clock ticking. Do not want to give the ball back to Shorewood with too much time left and only a 7-point lead, and Spillum does his part to move the chains.
Boy, I'm tired standing here watching this game. Spillum's having quite a night. I have him at 188 yards right now with 19 carries.
188, so unofficially Spillum 12 yards short of the 200-yard mark. Number 4 looking pretty good here so far, and he's looking for more right now as he goes out to the right one more time. Doesn't find as much room on this run. He only gets 2 yards. Does, however, stay in bounds. Clock continuing to run here with 8:28 to go in the ballgame. We have had some very exciting football games here at the stadium this year so far. Last week, Mountlake Terrace and Edmonds Woodway was one for the ages. We had Edmonds Woodway versus Meadowdale a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think we were going to say the same thing coming into the night about Shorewood and Meadowdale, but lo and behold, we've got ourselves a heck of a game here. Spillum looking for more. Starts to the right, cuts it back to the left. He finds a little bit of space and finally is brought down at the 49-yard line. Only picks up 5 yards, but he ran about 40 to get it. Ronnie Gary stepping up from the cornerback position to make the tackle. It's going to bring up a very interesting 3rd and 3 coming up for Meadowdale.
Meadowdale hasn't had too much trouble converting on the 3rd and shorts tonight. 3rd and short down yardage, but I haven't seen too many.
Well, this is certainly the
been too many 3rd and short.
Most important one they've had all night so far, with that clock showing 7:17 left in the 4th quarter right now. Tingstead takes the handoff. He hands to Spillum, and Spillum's got the first down and more. However, there is a penalty marker dropped in the backfield. Spillum still running strong as he gets out to the 36-yard line. A gain of 15 if it stands. However, that is a penalty marker that is back where it is normally called on the offense.
Yeah, and the defensive back, Matthew Nagy, put a shoulder into Spillum there and let him know. Introduce himself right there. And here we go. Meadowdale, this is like the first quarter again. As soon as they get momentum, they shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, and you mentioned that they've done a nice job of converting on 3rd and short. 3rd and short just got 3rd and long. And very long as they continue to march this one back. It's going to come all the way back to the 37-yard line. It was a spot foul. So they're going to lose 12 yards on that play. does remain third down, but instead of 3rd and 3, we're now looking at a 3rd and 15.
And if you're Shorewood, if you're the defense right now, you've got to get off this field because you've given Meadowdale too many breaks on 4th down or 3rd and longs, with either a penalty or a big play by Meadowdale or a fake punt by Meadowdale. So,
yeah, Braxton and Donnie Evans lined up to the right. Harrison White to the left. They're going to throw to the right, throwing it in Evans' direction, and he cut in. Tingstead threw it to the outside. It goes behind him, and with 6:43 to go, Meadowdale's bringing the punt team on, and Shorewood, we've got to assume, is going to get their hands on this ball here at some point in a minute. They're going to get the ball back, only down by 7.
7, and do I say it? Is the momentum back on Shorewood's side after I had written their obituary about 15 minutes ago?
Very fair to say right now, as they've got 2 players back to receive this punt. Matthew Nagy on the left, Ronnie Gary on the right. Braxton with a nice kick over towards Nagy, and it hits Buonto in the head at the 31-yard line. Buono was waiting to defend that play. He was looking down the field and never saw that ball coming and just boinked him right on the top of the head and goes out of bounds right there, and that is where Shorewood will take over, as they are now 68 yards away from potentially tying this game up with 6:34 to go.
I think if they score a touchdown, they're probably going to go for 2 again. Go for the lead if they're that nervous about the PAT kicker.
And our producer, Angelo Como, might even get his wish tonight. He was hoping for an overtime game, and he's getting that much closer to getting one. Especially the 8 o'clock games in overtime. He enjoys more than any of them. But
what can I say? He loves football.
He does love football.
He can't get enough.
Okamura back to take the snap, fakes the handoff to Vardal, who was going in motion. I believe that's Kone who has it, as we wait to see who that is out of the pile. It is, in fact, Kone. He gets forward to the 34-yard line. Picks up 2 as Charlie White stops him on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Second and 7 coming up. Ronnie Gary breaks the huddle and heads out to the left. Reed Kopik out to the right-hand side. Actually a 3-receiver set now as Vardell's in the slot. Cameron Testerman also over there on the right. Okamura getting pressured. He rolls out to the left. He's going to just keep this one, and he's got some room. Gets past midfield, and he's still running along the sideline where he's finally pushed out at the 41-yard line. A 24-yard pickup. And a crucial first down for Shorewood with 5:47 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Okamura faked enough like he was going to throw the ball to where the DB that would have, I think it was a defensive back that would have tackled Okamura, turned his back and started chasing the receiver. And he was just, the Meadowdale defender was just running towards the same end zone that Okamura was running to. So Okamura got 15 extra yards before the defender realized Okamura was running.
Hands off to Kone. Kone looking for room again in the middle. Gets forward for 2 yards. High school football can be very unpredictable at times. This is a Shorewood team that lost to Glacier Peak by 40. The same Glacier Peak team that got dominated by this very Meadowdale team last week. Just on that alone, it looks like Meadowdale on paper was 40 to 50 points better than Shorewood. And here we are, 5:20 to go in the game. Shorewood is driving for potentially a tying score here right now.
We pointed out this is Meadowdale's homecoming week, and you're wondering, I mean, they're just kids out there on the field. It'd be impossible for them not look at the schedule, be sort of distracted by all the homecoming festivities, thinking we're going to roll over this team, so we could take it easy.
And this is a Shorewood team I've had a chance to watch a few times over the last 2 years, and they're maturing before our eyes, too. They look good tonight. Okamura looking for Testerman over the middle. Had a lot of blue uniforms around him, but he did have a chance to make that catch, and it just sailed a bit over his head on that one. As I'm sure if Okamura could have that one to do over again, if he puts it about a foot lower, he would have had another first down.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes, 51 seconds left. It's 3rd and 8. I think it's safe to say if unless they lose yardage, Shorewood will be going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, this is definitely 4-down territory at this point in the game anyway, and no doubt in my mind, if they don't go backwards on this play, they almost certainly will have to go for it. Still have a Meadowdale team that can grind the ball and certainly take a lot of clock off if they need to. As Okamura looking around, he's getting chased by Walsh, throws it off at the last second. Looking in the direction of Vardal and is not able to make the connection there as Garrett Walsh was coming around that left end awfully hard and fast, forcing Okamura to throw that ball quicker than he wanted to, and that's going to bring up 4th and 9.
Yeah, a lot of quick pressure from that left side of the defense, and even if Okamura was able to complete that pass, it didn't look like they would be able to get more than 1 or 2 yards.
So 4:44 to go in the ball game. I hesitate to say that it's make or break here. Certainly you'll have more time left if you don't convert the first down, but Shorewood running out of time and running out of opportunities. They really could use a first down right here on 4th and 9. First down marker is at about the 31.5-yard line. Okamura drops back to pass, throws over the middle, incomplete. Looked as though he was looking in the direction of Reed Kopech and just fired it over his head. It's going to give Meadowdale the ball back with 4:38 to go.
Yeah, that didn't leave his hand. It didn't look too cleanly when he threw the ball. It was kind of a wobbler, so I wasn't even sure which exactly the receiver he was intending. But like I said, it's 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Shorewood does have all their timeouts remaining. So depending how much clock and yardage Meadowdale can grind out here, Shorewood might have another chance to get the ball back and tie or take the lead.
So we mentioned this earlier. Meadowdale with 2 more league games left, as they do have a game coming up against Renton, which will be a non-league game, as Spillum gets out to the right-hand side and finally gets brought down. If Meadowdale can win this game tonight, that will take their record to 4-0 on the season, 4 wins and 0 losses. They are the only other 2 teams in the league right now with 1 loss are Glacier Peak and Mount Lake Terrace. Meadowdale has already defeated both of those teams, so they would own a tiebreaker. So in essence, really, Meadowdale would have to lose their last 2 league games to not win Westco 3A South. Again, this is going under the assumption they do, in fact, hold on to win this game tonight, which is a lot to assume at this point. 4 minutes showing on the clock. Spillum takes the handoff to the right, and he gets brought down after a gain of 2 yards. But if Meadowdale can get past this Shorewood team tonight, they've got Linwood back at Edmund Stadium next Friday night, and then they've got Shorecrest on October 24th, and really they would only have to win one of those 2 games. And I hate to say it, but Shorecrest is really, really they're not a very good team this year. I'm putting it nicely. Really, if you're Meadowdale, you win this game tonight, you pretty much wrap up the 3A West or 3A South division rather. 3:24 to go here in the ball game. Meadowdale with a 7-point lead. If they can get a first down here, it'll go a long ways towards wrapping this one up. They might be getting ready to give the ball back to Shorewood if they can't get to midfield. Going to throw a screen pass, and that one is blocked as Tingstead was looking in the direction of Malik Braxton. However, number 72, Urka Erdenbayer.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Erdenbayer, the 6', 235-pound defensive lineman, got his big paw up on that ball and knocked it to the ground. And with 3:08 to go, Shorewood's looking like they're going to get the ball back.
That possession only took a minute and a half off the clock, and Shorewood has all 3 timeouts remaining.
Malik Braxton gets off a high booming kick, takes Nagy back to the 18-yard line. He fields it cleanly there, gets past Stephen Buonto, but it finally is going to get tackled out of bounds at the 23-yard line as number 28, Colby Sasoneth, along with Garrett Walsh over there to make the tackle. And with 2:57 to go, Shorewood once again 76 yards away from potentially tying this game up. You've got the usual suspects out there for the T-Birds. Okamura back in at quarterback. He's got Reed Kopech playing one of the wide receiver spots. Boston Vardal is in the huddle as well.
If I'm a Shorewood fan right now, all I'm thinking is whatever you do not hand it off to Kone on first down, because they've been doing that all first half, and he's been getting stuffed on first downs all first half.
You've got Ronnie Gary lined up to the far left, and he's certainly a nice option. Let's see if they maybe look in his direction. They do. Throw it out to him, a little out pattern there right along the left sidelines. Gary gets over to the 27-yard line, only a gain of 3 on the play. give Blake Jackson some credit. I thought Gary initially caught that ball up around the 28 or 29, and Jackson might have pushed him backwards for a yard.
I don't think he pushed him back. He caught the ball, and to avoid a tackle, he sort of jumped back. And then, since he jumped back on his own volition, that's where forward progress was marked.
Volition, I like that. 2:48, he did go out of bounds, so it did stop the clock. Okamura is going to keep this one this time. He's looking for a block, and he's not finding anything. And we get a very late flag thrown at the end on the tackle. That might be
spearing.
Might be a spearing of some sort, as that was number 22, Tyree Carson, who came in to make the tackle. And they were he got tackled right in front of the bench here, so I couldn't quite see it. But Carson is, in fact, going to get called for the penalty, which gives Shorewood not only 15 yards, but another first down.
That looked like a hard tackle, but, I mean, I'm sure the rules have changed. Well, I know they have since we used to wear the uniforms, but it looked like a clean tackle. Leading a little with the helmet, but it was he's a running back. He's running the ball. He's protected. He's not being blindsided. So regardless of what I think, it's still going to be 15 yards in the first down.
Yeah, 43-yard line, so a big first down for them. Puts them up 57 yards away from the goal line here, and with 2:30 showing on that clock right now and time continuing to tick off, this is getting very interesting here. Okamura in shotgun formation. Looking down the field, fires it over the middle to Testerman, and he makes, no, he does not. Almost made that catch as Jimmy Bruders was defending the play and might have gotten his hand on it just enough to knock it to the turf as the ball bounced up off the turf and back into Testerman's hand, and for a moment there I thought he had not only caught it, but that he was still running towards the end zone.
Looked like it hit his hands. I don't know if it got tipped, but that pass was delivered. I haven't been too impressed with Okamura's arm tonight, but that looked like a nice pass on target.
Should remind everybody to stick around after the game, as we will be presenting the Red Onion Burger Player of the Game. 2:16 to go here in the ball game. We've got a few candidates for this award tonight as Okamura back to pass. TT comes in, doesn't quite get to him, and Okamura's got some room, and he continues to run. Spins out of one tackle, fights his way to the 48-yard line, picks up 8, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for Shorewood as the clock now goes under the 2-minute mark.
And I'm surprised Shorewood's not taking a timeout now because they did not get the first down to stop the clock. While there is enough time, there's not plenty of time. You know, there still should be a little bit more urgency coming from the Shorewood offense. See, they're huddling up. I'm surprised how much time they're taking.
When the tackle was made, there was about 2:02 left. Right now the clock is showing 1:37. They certainly don't seem to be as rushed as they maybe should be right now. It's 3rd and 2. Okamura in the huddle. Looks to pass, throws it over the middle. Incomplete. And that ball was almost picked off as Tyree Carson had his hands on it. It's thrown just a bit behind Carson, so he had to spin around a little bit, and in the process of contorting his body, he just couldn't quite come up with the ball.
The only good news for Shorewood on that one is it stops the clock, but we got a 4th and 1 right here, so.
Yeah, it's more like a 4th and 2, so it's going to be a hard run if they go for it. It's almost even close. Yeah, it's about 1.5 yards. The marker is right at the 47-yard line. 1:26 to go, and by saving those timeouts, at the very least, they might be able to force a Meadowdale punt again if they can stop them on 3 straight plays and call 3 quick timeouts. And as we say that, Coach Rob Petchel from Shorewood decides he is going to, in fact, take a timeout. And we better keep it right here. We don't want to miss any of this action here. But again, we've got our Red Onion Burger Player of the Game coming up. We certainly have a few candidates, as one of which is Rory Spillum. He's got close to 200 yards rushing tonight. What do you have him down unofficially for? Is he at 188? Or did he pass that by now? I think he's even ahead of that now, isn't he?
197.
So 197 yards rushing for Spillum tonight.
24 carries.
It's not a bad night, right?
No. I would think it would be either starting tailback would be the
if Coney were to win, yeah.
Coney, though Coney's second half has been.
Charlie White's had a few big plays tonight. He certainly can be considered. Got to look at Garrett Walsh. He's been putting pressure on the quarterback all night and doing a nice job at fullback.
Okamura's been, well, not great with the throwing, but he's been coming to big plays, getting the runs when he needed it. I mean, even taking, I don't know if you give credit for a quarterback taking a spearing penalty, but he did, and that was a big play.
This is the 4th or 5th game that I've broadcasted where Aaron Okamura has been a quarterback, and he just seems to get better every time I see him. And he's only a junior. He's going to get better. And, young man has really impressed me. And certainly Ronnie Gary is having a nice game, number 12 for Shorewood. This is a Shorewood team that I don't know what they're returning in terms of their line next year, but at the skilled positions, they've got some weapons that are coming back in 2015. Okamura running up the middle. Did he get there? They give him forward progress as number 40 stepping up. That was Tyler Ruby with the big hit. Okamura does manage to find his way to the first down marker, though. And with 1:21 to go, we're going to have to set this clock and get it going here in just a moment. 2 timeouts left for Shorewood right now. Okamura dropping back, looking downfield. He fires it down the left sideline. Doesn't quite connect with Boston Vardal at the 20-yard line. He was open and almost had it. And that's going to leave 1:12 left on the clock.
Angelo come over here is like, come on, overtime. Look, he's got the fist
He
pump.
continues to root for it. Well, I'll tell you what, though. If you are Shorewood, you've already shown that your PAT team is a little bit shaky tonight. Do you go for 2?
Go for the win. You're on the road. This is going to be I
don't know if the road rule applies in high school like it does college, but
okay, they're playing,
and it used to. That was
back
in
the
the
far better team than they are. They sort of know it, but not tonight. You know, they could say 9 out of 10 times will beat us, but not tonight.
Okamura dropping back to pass. He's getting blitzed. He's finally going to take off. And look who tracks him down from behind. The big fella who can move. That's Garrett Walsh. Okamura does pick up maybe 2 yards on that play, but had it not been for Garrett Walsh, he might have picked up a handful more. And with 1:09 to go here in the game, Shorewood, looking at a 3rd and 9, is going to use their second timeout. I was just going to say, though, if you have Brett Schaefer, the Meadowdale kicker, on your team, I think it's kind of a given. You know that he's almost automatic every time. Mm-hmm. Shorewood missed one right at the end of the second half, and the way I always look at it, especially at the high school level, the PAT is a lot of pressure on 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who are out there knowing that the game's on the line if you score with less than a minute to go. And seen it time and time again where a team comes out to either kick a PAT or a field goal, and they just choke at the end of a game. It's a little too nerve-wracking. Being that Shorewood's already shown that they're vulnerable there anyway, I've got to think if they score a touchdown, they're going for 2.
They're going for 2. Because, like I said, they converted a 2-point conversion earlier, but it was perfectly
executed,
perfectly executed. And you got to wonder how often can you rely on 11 high schoolers to perfectly execute a play like that. But I think
it might be a moot point anyway if they can't get in the end zone. They're 44 yards away still, and more importantly,
they still have to get a first down.
They got to get a first down on 3rd and 9, and they've only got 1 timeout left. So Okamura, he's got trips out to the left. He's got Kone blocking for him, but he's got all the time in the world. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete, as that was really nowhere near Ronnie Gary. I don't know if he thought Gary was going to cut into the middle or what, but Okamura threw it right down the middle of the hashes there, and Gary was more out towards the sideline. So this is game time right here. It's 4th and 9, 59 seconds to go. Got to get to that 35-yard mark, or else you're turning the ball over to Meadowdale, and essentially all they have to do is put a knee down a couple times, and it's over.
Yeah, well, regardless of the outcome, Shorewood, some people say they don't believe in moral victories. I think they can take one here. And Meadowdale will have to learn that you can't take any opponent for granted, except Shorecrest.
Here we go. Game is on the line. Okamura dropping back to pass. Garrett Walsh gets in there. He does pick up a block. Is he going to run it? No, he's going to pass down the field, and he finds his man. Testerman with the catch. He's tackled at the 29-yard line, a pickup of 15, and a huge Shorewood first down with 48 seconds to go.
Man, this is a good game. Nice patience. I thought he was going to run at it because there's a lot of green in front of him, but the defense is going to collapse.
Okamura dropping back to pass again. He's got Testerman. Couldn't quite come up with it as he was open at the 14-yard line. A bit high as Testerman had to get both of those hands up on it. Had a chance to bring it down, though. Just couldn't quite put it away, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 with 40 seconds to go, and what do you say? With 1 timeout left. So even if they don't get the first down here and the clock's running, they can still call timeout.
These Meadowdale fans are awfully quiet right now.
They look like Oregon fans 24 hours ago.
It's a good comparison, really, in terms of maybe what the odds you would have given Arizona to win that game in relation to Shorewood. Okamura, shotgun formation, fakes the handoff to Kone. He's looking down the field, tries to throw a little pass out to Testerman along the right-hand side. 3rd and 10 as the clock now shows 35 seconds.
It looked like Okamura got hit a little when he released it, but even if he did get a clean pass off to Testerman, there were 3 defenders right on Testerman, and he would have been lucky to pick up a couple yards. And most likely he would have been tackled inbounds, meaning the clock's going to run, meaning Shorewood have to give up their last timeout. So I could say fortunate for Shorewood, that was a complete pass.
You got a lot of weapons out there. Kopik lining out to the far left. You're going with Trips on the right as you've got Vardal, Testerman, and Gary all on the right-hand side. You've even got Kone in the backfield as Vardal goes in motion. Okamura looking down the left sideline. Pump fakes a couple of times. He's still on his feet. Finally throws it over the middle to Kone. Kone's got the ball at the 15, spins off of one tackler to the 5, and is finally brought down at the 4-yard line, but he fumbled the football. Oh. Meadowdale football, this game might be over. Oh my goodness. Kone caught the ball over the middle, was fighting for extra yards, and as he's going down to the turf at the 4-yard line with 21 seconds to go, the ball pops out and Meadowdale comes up with it. We do have a Maverick player injured on the field.
Oh, man, I was really, starting to pull for the Shorewood crowd or a team for not giving up. Oh, I feel horrible for Kone right now, but...
Well, as a football fan, it would have been fun to see those last 21 seconds.
21 seconds, but still to keep their composure. And Okamura being chased around the backfield had too much time almost back there.
He made at least 3, maybe 4 pump fakes. Yeah. And at that point, I thought he was going to get sacked eventually, and finally just kept looking, and Kone finally came open over the middle, and he hit him. And
it looked like he was going to overthrow Kone. Kone made a good jump, catch over his head, and
well, if there's one player you want in open space, it is Kone. He's your starting tailback, and he did a nice job to get down to the 4. He just might have given a little too much effort. And
easy for me to say this now, but I was thinking, if you're Meadowdale, you're keen on the receivers, make sure they're going to be open. And I'm like, this would be a great time to get Kone open in the flat or in the middle. But, of course, I have to wait to say it after he makes the catch, and it's not quite as impressive.
Well, so Shorewood, well, I'll tell you what, that is a tough loss for them to take tonight. They look like they're about to fall to 2-3 on the season. This is a team, though, like I said, they just seem to get better and better every week. They've got a road game next week at Lake Washington. That's a non-conference game. And then they finish off their season against Edmonds Woodway at home and against Linwood. And, boy, I'll tell you what, if you would have asked me 3 hours ago who I'd pick in a game between Shorewood and Edmonds Woodway, or Shorewood or against Linwood, I would have easily picked against Shorewood. But I might have to reconsider the way they played tonight. They look good. I'm not sure. I think I knew who that player is that's down, but I'm not going to say it until we see a number for sure. But it looks as though they might be looking at his leg a little bit there. So we remind you again to not go anywhere. We will be doing our Red Onion Burger Player of the Game immediately after the game, and we'll bring a player up and interview him and present him with the Red Onion Burger Player of the Game t-shirt and get a few quotes from him. And that is number 40 going off the field, Tyler Ruby, the 5'7", 165-pound junior linebacker. And Ruby not able to put much weight on that left foot at all right now, so we hope he's okay. And Meadowdale's offense takes the field. Shorewood does have 1 timeout left. Even if they use it, Meadowdale would be able to kneel down on the ball. And Meadowdale's going to call a quick timeout. We'll take a quick break. You were watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And we are back again at 21 seconds left. What a finish. It almost got it was very exciting, but it was almost even more so. And if Kone doesn't fumble that football at the 4-yard line, Tingstead in victory formation. They're going to fall forward to about the 6-yard line, and we'll see if Shorewood wants to elect to call that last time out, and they do. So they can stop the clock this time. However, if Meadowdale can just take a snap and drop to a knee here, the clock will expire, and the Mavericks will come away with the victory and with win number 4 on the year. Take their record to 4-1 overall, but more importantly for them, 4-0 in the conference, as they are close to getting another victory here in Wesco 3A South.
Yeah, this could actually be a better victory for Meadowdale than if they were just to walk all over Shorewood tonight, because the coaches can definitely work on this film and show them that, hey, you got to take every opponent seriously. And, you know, you can get punched in the mouth. You can get punched in the mouth and lose. You get punched in the mouth and win. This is obviously they get punched in the mouth and win. And if you're going to get hit, you want the W. So
interesting schedule for Meadowdale this year in that their 3 toughest opponents in league were their first 3 games of the league season, and they won all 3 of them. Mm-hmm. 2 of them very handily. I mean, so you beat Glacier Peak, you beat Mount Lake Terrace, you beat Edmonds Woodway, and really all that's left in your way at that point is Shorewood, Shorecrest, and Linwood, and you think those are easy opponents after beating those other 3. Well, guess what? Shorewood almost made you think differently tonight. They did make you think differently and almost gave you the loss, but you come away with a victory, and you can certainly take this as a game that gets you refocused and ready to go for the rest of the year. Clock ticks to 0. Your final score tonight, the Meadowdale Mavericks 28, the Shorewood Thunderbirds, who have nothing to be ashamed of at all, 21. We're going to take a very quick break and come back with our Red Onion Burger player of the game and wrap this thing up. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. And welcome back. We're our final score tonight, the Meadowdale Mavericks 28, the Shorewood Thunderbirds 21. Our Red Onion Burger player of the game, Rory Spillum. Rory, we have you down unofficially for 197 yards tonight. First of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Nice job. Almost 200 yards. That's it's got to be a career high for you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So now let's talk about your season a little bit as a whole. I'm first and foremost, coming into the year, you and Malik were sharing a lot of carries. I guess a lot of this has to do with the fact that you're just playing outstanding and doing as well as you are. They've moved Malik out to the outside, and you're getting a lot more carries because of that. How's that changed your game a little bit? I mean, certainly you're getting a lot more touches, right?
Yeah, definitely had to just toughen up when I want to go out. I just got to stay in because there's really no one else to. I got to get my stamina up in practice, just work harder.
Now, are you feeling pretty good about 20, 25 carries a game now? Are you getting used to that? Or?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah? You should be, right? I mean, you're looking good out there.
Yeah.
Almost 650 yards on the season for you, 2 through 5 games. You're not getting too tired yet, are you?
I'm beat up, but I'm fine.
You're taking it, right? The winning helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So now, we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. You guys rolled through your first 3 games in Wesco against what looks like they might be the 3 toughest teams in your division, or so we thought. You beat Glacier Peak and Mount Lake Terrace fairly handily. Played Edmonds Woodway awfully tough. Now, coming into this game, a lot of us, myself included, kind of thought you guys were going to have an easy time of Shorewood, but do you think you took them for granted a little bit, or do you think maybe Shorewood's better than we thought?
They are better than we thought, but we definitely took them for granted. I don't think our focus was there all game. A lot of distractions with homecoming week and all that stuff, but yeah, we definitely took it for granted. We thought they were gonna roll over, but they just didn't.
So maybe, and Dave Kostrick, our color commentator, was mentioning that maybe it even helps you guys moving forward. Maybe it gets you refocused again. Do you think that might work to your advantage?
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely be learning from this.
Now, what did the coaches say to you guys at halftime? It's 14-13, closer than you thought it was going to be, and you guys came out and played really well in that third quarter. Did Coach Don say anything to you at halftime that changed things?
He was just kind of calmed us down a little bit. Just told us to just do your job. You know you can go out there and win. Just keep playing. Mental mistakes, just get rid of them. We're good.
And you're good right now. So you're 4-1 on the season, and you're looking to finish out the season strong, right? Hey, Roy, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And once again, we're going to give you the Red Onion Burger Player of the Game Award. So that is your shirt to keep. I had a feeling at some point we were going to see number 4 appear this year, and sure enough, 197 yards later, you're up here. So, Rory, congratulations on the big win.
Appreciate it.
Continued success for you, and hopefully we'll see you guys get a few more wins out of here before the season's done.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, great. So we're going to take a quick break, and once again, the final score tonight, Meadowdale 28, Shorewood 21. This guy almost had 200 yards rushing tonight. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mount Lake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
And we are back again, where once again our final score tonight, Meadowdale 28, Shorewood 21. We just mentioned that we have Rory Spillum down unofficially for 197 yards. We mentioned at halftime that both the starting tailbacks tonight had over 100 yards or had at least 100 yards rushing in the first half. Should point out that a big reason for the success of Meadowdale in the second half was that they made some adjustments and shut Kone down. Hassan Kone, the running back for Shorewood, he had 100 yards in the first half, only 16 in the second half, and that was a big difference in this game. And, by the way, the last play for Shorewood on offense certainly didn't hurt either, turning that ball over at the 4-yard line. So once again, Meadowdale improves their record to 4-1 on the season. They're undefeated with a 4-0 record in conference play. Shorewood falls to 2-3, but if you are a Thunderbird fan, you have to like how your team looked tonight. Much, much improved from what we've seen over the last few weeks, and moving forward, they've got to be feeling pretty good about things. Want to remind you again that next week we've got another doubleheader here on the Sound Alive Sports Network. 5 p.m. start time, Mount Lake Terrace versus Glacier Peak, a game really for second place, and to see who moves into the driver's seat for that last guaranteed playoff spot. And then at 8 o'clock, the Linwood Royals and the Meadowdale Mavericks in what should be a very interesting game. Linwood stubbing their toe tonight against Edmonds Woodway, and Meadowdale, it'll be interesting to see how focused they come back next week. Had a game tonight that they thought they were going to win rather easily, and it came right down to the wire. So it should be interesting to see how Coach Don and his team prepare and get ready for that game 7 days from now. So once again, for everybody that was on the broadcast tonight, for David Kostrick, who did our color, for Angelo Camo, who produced it, for Teresa Whipple, From the Sound Live Sports Network, for Ian Hentz, who did a fantastic job both games tonight, and for the entire staff, we appreciate you for watching tonight. Our final score once again tonight, the Meadowdale Mavericks 28, the Shorewood Thunderbirds 21. You've been watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Have a good night.